Okay, and you're off. And I'm off. Okay, you guys, good luck.
Are we live?
Everything you've done, come on.
Okay, I'm gonna have to shut this door.
Should be good.
Okay, are we live?
You should be, yes.
Are we going live yet? Live? Okay, I see a chat screen. Very good. We're going. Okay, this is Captain Ralph Ortolano, U.S. Navy retired. I am the senior naval science instructor for Jesse Bethel High School. And we have an academy and an ROTC scholarship information night. We have several speakers for you. First, we're going to have Senior District Representative Rebecca Hernandez, who works for Congressman Thompson. And then we're going to have a representative of U.S. Air Force and Space Force ROTC. That's Second Lieutenant James Tovar. Then we're going to have a representative of the U.S. Army ROTC. That's Staff Sergeant Jahoon Lee. And we're going to have Commander Kevin Watson for the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. Next, we're going to have Major Jerry Lynn Harper and First Lieutenant Stephanie Cho for the U.S. Air Force Academy. Mr. Stephen Schwaderer for U.S. Military Academy, West Point. We're going to have Lieutenant Colonel Kelly Allen talk about U.S. Naval Academy. Then Lieutenant William Brigham from CSU Maritime, California Maritime Academy, is going to talk about U.S. Maritime Administration Student Incentive Program. It's available at the State Maritime Academies. We're going to have Navy.
And I was told that we were going to set up a camera, so that's why I brought that.
Then we're going to have
Oh my God, I'll figure it out.
Staff Sergeant Larry Haywood from the Marine Corps to talk about the Marine Corps options for Navy ROTC. Lieutenant Junior Grade Wei Xin Hu from the U.S. Coast Guard Academy. And finally, Commander Rich Akosky, who's the Senior Naval Science Instructor at Centennial High School in Las Vegas.
Army.
He's going to talk about the NJROTC
Are you doing
preparatory
recruitment?
program. So, without further ado,
Is this your first time doing recruitment?
Hernandez, if you could take control and present, we're ready for you to present.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Use
Yeah, if I
the,
could get through this, I'm sure
button
one day.
at the bottom of your screen with the up arrow, and just click on that, and then select full screen.
And all my headphones know it's loud. We're gonna be.
okay. We're gonna show. Okay, then I'm just gonna pin you.
Okay, great, great.
Okay. There you are.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you for inviting Congressman Mike Thompson's office to participate this evening. My name is Rebecca Hermosillo, and I'm the lead staff for the Congressman. I handle the Academy nominations
Interesting.
for almost 9 years. So I'll give you a brief overview. Members of Congress and Senate staff are able to nominate candidates to attend 4 service academies: Air Force, Northrop Marine, United States Army, military at West Point, and Naval Academy. We also have Coast Guard Academy, but it does not require a congressional or senatorial nomination. Cadets will receive a 4-year education and a degree from some of the most prestigious colleges in the country. All service academies have very high standards. In the 4 years that you are learning, you are given in exchange for a 5-year commitment to active service. The key focus for the academy is to prepare leaders of tomorrow through leadership, mental, emotional, and physical development. This process is nomination for each member of Congress and senatorial staff handle the nominations differently. For our office, nominations process, the complete process is due the first Monday of the month of October. Normally, your nomination packet will include a photo of yourself, a personal statement as to why you want a nomination, and several forms that are provided in a nomination packet. So an official request for nomination, extracurricular information, evaluations from 2 of your teachers, mentors, etc. Your transcripts, ACT score or an SAT score. All nominations will be reviewed that week to make sure they're complete, and then we'll be notifying you if your packet is missing anything. Generally, all of the interviews are done the first or second week of November. There is a panel, a 3-person panel that will conduct an interview for all the cadets. There's a basic minimum requirement. Generally, it's a 3.0 to get a congressional nomination for our office. There's a lot of factors that can also play in that as well. So if you do get an interview with the interviewing panel, there's 3 members. The interview generally takes about 30 minutes. At the end of the weekend that we conduct interviews, they're basically in 30-minute increments. The nominating panel will make a recommendation to the Congressman, and the Congressman always follows their recommendation by the panel. All candidates will be informed by December if they'll be getting an offer. If they're not, they'll be given suggestions on what steps they can take to better prepare themselves to receive an offer or nomination the following year, and they can reapply. And then we wait. So once we submit our offers end of December, we wait for those offers to come through. We see when they come through as late as May. Generally, late May, early June, when we receive all the offers, the Congressman will host a service academy reception, and it's an opportunity for the incoming class to bring their family, their friends, their mentors, and celebrate the great success of getting an offer from one of the service academies, and also to meet the Congressman who wants to congratulate everyone, and you get to see your interviewing panel again. So in general, that is the overview for how the Congressman handles the nomination process for the first congressional district. Thank you.
Okay, and our next speaker, I believe, is Lieutenant Kilvon. Please select present, and you will become the main presenter. There you go.
Okay, thank you very
Thank you,
much,
ma'am.
sir. I'm just going to double check, make sure everyone can see what I'm seeing. Is the PowerPoint kind of flashing in and out for you as well? seems like it leveled out. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for your time. I'm going to talk to you today about the Air Force ROTC program. And without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump right into it. So a little bit about me. I grew up in Dos Palos, California, smack dab in the center of the San Joaquin Valley, about 60 miles away from Fresno, town of 5,000 with one stoplight. So that's where I kind of got my jump. I enlisted into the Air Force for 6 years, earned my associate's degree, and then separated from service to pursue a commission as an officer through the Air Force ROTC program. I recently graduated Fresno State from Detachment 35. I got a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and right now I'm an Air Force ROTC scholarship advisor. But after my 12 months here, I will be attending pilot training school for my upgrade pilot training. So what is Air Force ROTC? The goal of Air Force ROTC is to develop leaders, United States Air Force and Space Force, while earning your college degree. And that is a huge focus for the ROTC program, because if you can't earn your degree, you can't be an officer. So it's definitely prioritized towards earning that degree. Some of the careers Air Force ROTC offers: pilot, behavioral scientist, developmental engineer. You can read the rest. There are dozens and dozens of jobs. Chances are, if there's something you're interested in doing with your college degree, there's a job in the Air Force that aligns really well with that. Most jobs get a 4-year active duty service commitment, but when you compare that to graduating and starting off with a company or organization, you're going to have to fight and compete for professional development and training, and possibly for a career, a job. With the Air Force ROTC program, you get a direct commission into the United States Air Force, guaranteed professional development, training, and all the resources you need for career progression, whether you intend to leave after your 4 years or make a 20-year career. So once you're in the program out of college, you'll be a freshman, and you're going to learn the basics of teamwork, public speaking, and professionalism for the first 2 years. The summer between your sophomore and junior year, you'll actually attend a 2-week field training evaluation, where you'll get racked and stacked with thousands of different cadets from around the country. And when you return from that training, you'll actually be teaching the underclassmen, right? As you're a junior, senior, you'll be teaching the underclassmen the principles of leading, planning, and implementing. So by the time you do commission, you'll have 2 years of leadership, management, resource management under your belt as you begin your active duty career. The cadet experience is very unique at ROTC. Typically, it's 5 to 8 hours a week. That includes your leadership laboratory, which is your class held at the campus, physical training, and your aerospace studies classes, which upon completion will actually grant you a minor to go along with your bachelor's degree, a minor in aerospace studies. So you can get a job, you can be a collegiate athlete, you can join fraternities and other organizations within your community. That's one of the benefits of Air Force ROTC, is the flexibility. There's no one weekend a month. There's no weekend obligations, because the Air Force ROTC program follows the academic calendar of the campus you're in. So our application window is currently open right now. We actually have the first round of scholarship notifications coming out the first week of November. The board's going to meet in the middle of October. So for those of you who are interested in this option, or the academy options as well, I encourage you to apply for both. That way you're giving yourself the most options and opportunities. The online application requires a resume, your high school transcripts from your freshman to junior year, your ACT, literacy scores, and fitness. The Air Force and myself will definitely
People are
understand
saying in the chat that the audio levels are low.
right now. So if you're unable to do
Yeah,
that, and you still want to
I'm watching the live
I
stream,
encourage you to complete your application,
and
because last year,
it's saying that the audio levels are low.
actually waived
Okay, it's coming over
and allowed
YouTube.
people to get awarded the notifications with no ACT or SAT score. These are the basics of the high school.
I usually have them peak right around
test, which
the
can be done at
yellow.
your high school. The academic minimums you can see there on the left compared to the averages. This is a very competitive scholarship. So with the benefits involved, it also requires a lot of preparation. After you do your fitness and academics, you'll actually get an interview with a active duty Air Force officer at one of the detachments closest to you. So the three different types of high school scholarship programs are the Type 1, Type 2, and Type 7. I'm not sure what happened between Type 3 and Type 6, but this is what we've got. Still pretty good deals. You have 100% tuition paid for two of the options, and the Type 2 offers up to $18,000 a year, which I can tell you graduating from Fresno State is the same exact thing as 100% tuition paid. All scholarships come with a monthly stipend, so not only are you getting your schooling paid for, but you're getting paid to go to school. You get $300 a month, and that goes up by $50 over the course of your 4 years. We have the in-college scholarship available for those who do not get the high school scholarship straight your freshman year. So after one semester of ROTC, you'll be eligible for an in-college scholarship. So what this looks like is you attend the college you want and sign up for the Air Force ROTC classes at that college. And after your first semester, you'll get thrown into the mix to get in-college scholarship, which offers either 100% tuition or up to $18,000 in tuition. Or you can do what I did. I did not pursue any of the scholarships. I secured my school financially through my veteran benefits because I was a prior enlisted member. I also used financial aid and any other scholarships that were available. So if you do not get any of the scholarships, that does not mean that you cannot completely complete the Air Force ROTC program and commission as a second lieutenant upon graduation. If you're interested in that route, it's as easy as applying to the school and getting accepted and simply joining the ROTC classes at that campus. While I have this question slide up here, if you're interested in more information and want to talk to me, maybe answer some specifics, feel free to scan that QR code. It's going to give me your email address. That way I'll be able to reach out to you and answer any further questions. As I give you guys time to scramble out your phones and get that, I want to focus on the Air Force ROTC experience. It really is a normal college experience. For me, I went to school on Tuesdays and Thursdays and completed all of my college classes as well as my ROTC requirements. And I was able to work a part-time job Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, spring break and summers off, standard fare. It was a really great time to be thrown into a mix of other motivated individuals pulling in the same direction. Also, we are one of the major sources to the Space Force. I think currently we're looking, Air Force ROTC has about 400 slots for the next year that are going to be Space Force officers, right, for cyberspace operations and intelligence. So if joining the Space Force is something that you're interested in, then I certainly recommend that you scan that QR code, get in touch with me, and I can explain your options. Last thing I want to leave you all with is that the sky is not the limit, it's just the start. Whether you decide to pursue any of these military academies, the Air Force and Space Force specifically, best of luck on all of your journeys. This is just the beginning, and I wish you all luck for your applications. Sergeant Lee. Oh, there you go. I was gonna say, yeah, I'm off the mic. Thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry, Lee.
You're muted. Muted.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm Sergeant Lee. I'm from the U.S. Army Benicia Recruiting Center, and I'm just gonna make some key points about education, U.S. Army Reserve, and the Minutemen Scholarship. So I know you can't see this, so I'm just going to explain it to you guys. So first thing, I'm just going to talk about the Army Reserve. Army Reserve and active duty, we have two programs. They are both different. The Army active duty is more for going 100% into different duty stations, training areas, and you're working from Monday through Friday consistently. Now, what's different from the Army Reserve? Yes.
Lieutenant Tovar still presenting?
No, he's
Then
not.
how come we're not seeing you? We're not seeing you over the screen.
Yeah, I can see him, Captain.
You can see him? Yeah, but can
Yeah,
you see him on the whole screen?
Yeah, pin him up. You pin him. Just pin him on the screen. You can see him.
How's that?
Like I said, all I did was just pin him to the screen. And I can
Okay,
see
so
him.
you can see him now?
Yes, I can see him the whole time.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, it's okay. All right, so as I was saying, the Army Reserve is a part-time job where you can actually see your family member, and wherever you're stationed at, you're able to meet your family and go to the duty station that's closest to your home at the same time. And meanwhile, you're working on your college tuitions, your college, you're working on your part-time, being successful, your civilian side, and you're also working for the military, which is 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks in a year. And the bonuses is available depending on the slots that you get. The tuition assistance, you also get the education benefits, the discount of medical and dental insurances, and also the job certification and working on your retirement, such as when you go up to 20 years, you'll get your pension, but only when you turn 60. Now, there are tons of education benefits, but I'm only going to go over the post 9/11 GI Bill and the tuition assistance. All right, so the post 9/11 GI Bill, what it is after you finish basic training and AIT for Army Reservists, you get your D-214. Once you get your D-214, you're eligible for post 9/11 GI Bill. What that is an education benefits provided for all the Army Reservists. Unfortunately, for active duty, they cannot get it because they have to finish their time.
He's already
Once they retire, get their D-214, then they can get the post 9/11 GI Bill. So what it is, it pays for your full tuition. It gives you the BAH, which is basic allowance housing, depending on where you are. And wherever you're staying at, that's where it will provide the basic allowance housing, depending on where you stay and what college you're going to. What's great about it is once you get the GI Bill and you don't want to use it, you can transfer that GI Bill to one of your family members. It could be your son, could be anyone in your family. And also gives you $1,000 for your books and any other resources for a year as well. So tuition assistance. Tuition assistance is available for Army Reservists, active duty, and National Guard. So for Army, active duty, or Army Reserves, we get $4,000 a year, and it'll recycle every year. So let's say you use $3,500 for 1 year. The next year, it's just going to recycle back to zero. And that's $250 per credit hour or $165 per quarter. Now, the Minuteman Scholarship. The Minuteman Scholarship covers full tuition and a $10,000 per year toward room and board at any college as long as it has Army ROTC in it. It also gives you $1,200 a month for book allowance and a monthly stipend of $240 while attending school. Once you do this, you have to have a commitment of 8 years in the Army Reserve. So some of the eligibility to get this Minuteman Scholarship is one, you have to be a U.S. citizen. You have to be a minimum age of 17 to 30. You have to also be currently in the Army Reserve or at least eligible for the enlistment. And you must pass the APFT, which is the original PT test of 2-minute push-ups, 2-minute sit-ups, and 2-mile run. You must meet the height weight requirement, be nominated by the Army Reserve Ambassador, and acceptance letter to college with the Army ROTC, professional of military science interview, and have to have a proof of academic major. And for your SAT score, it must be at least 1,000 or ACT of 19 and a GPA of 2.5. You must also participate in the SMP program, which is the simultaneous membership program. What that is if you're going to be an Army Reservist, that gives you the opportunity to go come serve in the Army Reserve and also go to ROTC at the same time and have an 8-year commitment. And that's really my PowerPoint, and that's all I got. And let's see here. Oh, should I go?
Yeah, you go here
Stop sharing.
and stop presenting.
Okay.
Okay, next we're going to have Commander Watson from the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy.
Good evening, everyone. Before I start my presentation, I'd like to take the time to introduce myself. My name is Commander Keith Watson, and I am the Assistant Director of Admissions and Diversity Officer at the United States Merchant Marine Academy. To give you a little history about myself, I'm a retired Marine. I'm a retired higher education professional, a bachelor's degree in organization communication and a master's degree in higher education management, all paid by the government. So let me start my presentation. If I can get somebody to acknowledge that they can see everything on that screen.
I can see it.
Everybody can see it?
Yeah. What I do is I pin it to the screen.
Okay. So
You're going over, your slides are going over YouTube, Commander.
It's going over me? Can you
No,
unpin me?
we can hear you and we can see your slides over YouTube. Everything looks great.
Okay, fantastic. All righty. First of all, let me start my presentation by talking about who we are and who we are not. It's very important for you to understand that. Yes, the United States Merchant Marine Academy is one of the 5 federal institutions. However, we do not come under the Department of Defense. We come under the Department of Transportation. It's very important to know. We're also not a branch of the military, but there is a military obligation. And then last but not least, it is not a type 1, type 2, or type 3. It is equitable across the board. Every student that gets accepted to the United States Merchant Marine Academy will have a tuition-free, totally education. So, where are we located? We're located just 20 miles outside of New York City, on the waterfront of the Long Island Sound. There's approximately 1,000 men and women that attend our school at any given time. There's no cost for tuition, room, board, or books. Students pay for laptop, supplies, and annual fee of $1,000 given to our students. And the student faculty ratio is about 13-to-1, and our average class size is about 24. Let me hide this thing. There we go. And our programs are 4-year hands-on learning, including 3 trimesters or up to about 365 days of C year. I explain to you a little later exactly what C year and internship is. So what do we do? Most people, when I say the Merchant Marine Academy or Mariner, you don't have a clue who we are. So let me take the time to explain to you. The United States Merchant Marine consists of privately owned U.S. registered merchant ships. We provide waterborne transportation for passengers and cargo moving in domestic and international commerce. And in time of war or national emergency, the U.S. Merchant Marine serves as the 4th arm of defense. That's a lot of mumble and jumble. So I'm going to put it into a nutshell for you. The Merchant Marine Academy or the maritime industry is the most important thing in your life every day of the week. Wow, that's a bold statement.
I forgot something.
Why would I say that? If you took a moment and stopped and thought about everything you use every day of the week,
Oh, the charger.
from the
Yeah,
cell phone you talk on, the TV you look at, the clothes you wear on your back, the car your family drive, I can guarantee you 90% of that stuff was made someplace other than America. Wow. So that prompts the question, how did all those goods get here?
I do not know.
Ships.
It's supposed to be that. It's not.
The shipping industry is one of the largest and highest paid
Yeah,
industries
I
in the
don't
world.
know why.
And not only do we ship
if
goods,
I went into adjusting it, then I would
but
lose it.
we help the military
So right now,
move
if I
large
allow it
equipment from one
run it,
arena to another.
like
The average starting salary for a student to graduate from our school, first job is
shouldn't be.
between $85,000 and $145,000.
Yeah, no. Oh no, yeah,
So
it's
here goes
supposed
some
to be
key
that.
information.
I don't know why it's showing up that. And it's
What
showing
you
up literally
earn.
different
You would
colors
earn
right
a
now.
bachelor's
I just
in
know that
science
when I
degree.
went through,
All the service
I have to get
academy
you up and
has
running.
one degree. It's a bachelor's science degree. We may have various majors, but one degree. Everyone will be commissioned as an officer in the armed forces. However, in the Merchant Marine Academy, because we come under the Department of Transportation, you can be commissioned as an officer in any branch of the armed forces. You would also be licensed as a merchant marine officer. So you'll be an officer in the maritime industry and an officer in the military, or you'll have an option to go full-time military. And an experience of a lifetime. The value of our education is approximately $293,000. Now, we like to consider ourselves the academy of choice. Once again, bold statement. What do I really mean by that? We're the only service academy that you can come to, graduate from, and decide either you're going to be in the maritime industry, which we represent, or it's up to you. Go active duty in any branch of the service or the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration. Let me explain exactly how that works. If you decide to go into the maritime industry, you must work in the maritime industry for at least 5 years. You must maintain a active duty Coast Guard license for 6 years. I know that sounds weird, but the license is actually good for 5 years, but we make sure you take it over before it expires. That's why we say 6 years. Now, for those individuals that decide to go in the maritime industry, you will also be in the military, but only part-time.
Okay.
Normally, when you hear the term reserve,
this
you
gives me pretty
normally
much the
hear
same exact
1
value
week
of
in a month,
what's in
2 weeks
there.
out the year. If you're in the maritime industry, that 1 week in a month is not going to work. So how you fulfill your reserve obligation if you're in the maritime industry is only 2 weeks a year for 8 years. Do the math. That's not even a year worth of military service. Now, for those individuals that want to go active duty military, which you can choose, and we are proud of everybody that goes on our active duty military. If you decide that you must spend at least 5 years on active duty in any of the nation's armed forces or the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration. So I get asked all the time, wow, maritime industry. Well, can I be a pilot? The answer is yes. We have people graduate from us each year and they go Army, Navy, Air Force, and become pilots. Can I be in special forces? The answer is yes. Can I be an infantry officer? The answer is yes. But yes, we focus on the maritime industry, but we're not going to pigeonhole you. Once you finish our school, the decision is up to you on where you go after school. So let's talk about the academics that we are. We have a laser focus. Our laser focus is on the maritime industry, which consists of transportation logistics or engineering. So even though we have 1 degree, Bachelor of Science degree, here are the subjects that you can study. Marine transportation, maritime logistics and security, marine engineering systems, marine engineering, and shipyard management. Now, the Merchant Marine Academy is Division III in most of our sports, but with Division I and others. Let me explain that. Our Division III sports for men is football, baseball, basketball, wrestling, track and field, cross country, swimming and diving, soccer, lacrosse, and tennis. And for women, it's basketball, volleyball, track and field, cross country, swimming and diving, soccer, and
Yeah.
lacrosse. And we
Yeah, I
have
see it
a
right here.
host of club sports, too many to list, but just to name a few: ice hockey, rugby, and water polo. Now, earlier I said
or
we
you don't
have
need to have it
Division
on. It's okay.
one sport, and that's our waterfront program. We have one of the best waterfront programs in the nation. In our waterfront sports program, they Division One. Truly, no college in the world really have water programs as Division One, but they compete
I
like.
also have it up right here.
So we have power
So I have
squad,
a studio.
dinghy, rowing, offshore sailing,
And that's
and
what
even
giving
sports.
me my audio,
And then
real
once
time
again,
audio.
we have a
So-
host of clubs and activities at our school. Regimental band. The Merchant Marine Academy is the only service academy that the band consists of all students. Trap,
Oh, yeah.
ski,
I mean, I
EMT program,
know.
art,
This is
photography,
my first
just
rodeo.
to name a few.
But I was given this
See
project
here,
really.
the
my
world
mom
is
told me
our
about
camp.
it. But she said
Every
that we were
student
using
that
a
comes to
film
our school is
camera
going to spend
going through that. I
anywhere
wasn't too sure
between
what the details
360 and
And then I
365 days traveling the
got some
world.
emails
Each
around
student will see anywhere
3
between
o'clock today from
15
Lucius.
to 20 countries during their 4 years of education. Wow, that's exciting. I call
We
it
had up to
ship hopping.
about 10 once.
What I mean,
Wow.
1 week you might be in China, next week you might be in Australia, the week after that you might just be on the Long Island Sound. But it's a very exciting experience. And that's not the most important thing about CU. The most important thing about CU is that we actually sending you out into the real world so you can learn from and work next to individuals that's doing the job that you're in school learning. And during that time, you're getting paid. So guess what? You're not only going to be a college graduate, you're going to be a college graduate with 1 year of real world paid experience. Hence, that's why our average starting salary for our students is between $85,000 and $145,000. Employers are looking for our students because they know they can hire them today and put them to work tomorrow. Options and opportunities, once again, you can be on logistics, you can be on a military ship. You know, just the experience of being at the academy is a great opportunity and options for you. You can be, like I said, in the military, you can be on a submarine, you can be in Australia one day, you can be a pilot in the military. These are all options and opportunities that you will gain by becoming a student at the United States Merchant Marine Academy. So, how do you get in? First of all, to get into any service academy, it's a very competitive process. For us academics, we like for our students to take pre-calculus, calculus, physics. We like for you to have take both the ACT and SAT, and I'm gonna emphasize both. And I know some of your areas or some of your schools only focus on one. The reason why I encourage you to take both, you'll be surprised in the variance of scores. Some people will take an SAT and score lower, then they take the SAT and score higher. And then another big reason is we do what we call super score. Let me explain in depth what that means. That means that we will take the highest subject test score regardless of what test it comes from. So exactly what does that mean? If your highest reading score is on the SAT, we'll use that. If your highest math score is on the ACT, we'll use that score. Then we want you to complete our application. Our application is fully online. It is open now. Our application is open each year, May 1st, and the deadline or the closing period is January 31st of next year. Each student must have a nomination from a U.S. Congressman, a representative, or a senator. You must pass what we call a fitness assessment, better known as a candidate fitness assessment, and you must qualify medically. As I stated earlier, our application is open May 1st, and the application deadline is February 1st. To apply, you just need to go to www.usmma.edu, and then I encourage each of you to schedule a visit with admissions at usmma.edu. Nope, I'm not finished. That's our map right there. I am also the individual that's covering the entire West. I actually came out and took over as assistant director of missions from Los Angeles. So all that yellow area which you are in is my territory. So feel free to reach out to me, Commander Watson, Watson K at USMMA 516-726-5642. Questions? I will stay on to the end just in case there's opportunity, but if not, feel free to reach out to me at any time. And that's my time. Thank you very much.
Okay, next is the U.S. Air Force Academy. If you could stop presenting, Commander, and we would have,
right now.
Yeah, just click on that little.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, there we go. So now we're at U.S. Air Force Academy. I saw the U.S. Air Force Academy person here. Are you here? Very good, very good. Okay, I believe that this is First Lieutenant Stephanie Cho. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, it is. I think she's having problems with her comm.
Okay, and then we have Major Jerry Lynn Harper.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so they're both going to talk about the U.S. Air Force Academy.
Perfect. I'll hand it over to Stephanie. She's a recent graduate and the best person to hear from.
All right. You guys can hear me, but I can't hear what's going on there. Tuning in with my phone. Fortunately, audio is not working for me on my computer. So, yeah, let me just get started. I don't know why I'm having problems today. Okay, flexibility is the key to air power, am I right? All right, can everyone see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Hi, my name is Second Lieutenant Stephanie Che. I am the admissions advisor for the Northern California region. I am based out of Sacramento, and today I am here to talk to you guys about the Air Force Academy. So just a little bit about me. Major Harper said it already. I am a recent graduate of the United States Air Force Academy. I just graduated in May of this year. I received a Bachelor of Science degree in Foreign Area Studies with a Japanese minor, and some of the clubs and sports I was involved with during my time at the Academy are Women's Water Polo, Korean American Students Association, and Armed Air Society. I will be a logistics readiness officer in the Air Force, and I am also a linguist for the Air Force, so I am proficient culturally and linguistically in Japanese and Korean. So I'm going to keep this short and simple. So basically, the Air Force Academy, we are an undergraduate, four-year undergraduate institution and military academy that focuses on producing officers for the Air Force. So as you can see on the screen here, we are ranked number 3 in public colleges in the United States. A lot of our engineering departments and majors are ranked very high competitively nationally.
Your slides aren't progressing. Your slides aren't progressing for some reason.
You need to select present mode in your slide presentation. And
yeah, your slides aren't presenting. They're still on the first slide.
You see.
There we go. Okay, can you put them in present mode? The little thing.
Does that work?
Actually, we have nothing going over the YouTube now.
Okay. Here. I'll just present like this.
Okay. Yeah.
So where did I end up?
You're saying number 3 school.
Okay. So basically, the United States Air Force Academy, we are ranked number 3 in according to the U.S. News and World Report in 2020, ranked very high nationally. As you can see, a lot of our engineering departments are ranked in the top 10 in the country as well. Although we are very STEM heavy, we also value national liberal arts and any majors associated with that. So although we are not the highest, we are ranked pretty high, I believe, in the nation for that as well. And speaking of majors and minors, here are the majors and minors that we offer here at the Air Force Academy. So half of them are STEM related and half of them are not. So I was a Foreign Area Studies major, as you can see under the humanities column. And you'll also notice that we do around 92 semester hours of core classes, and that's to ensure that we are developing well-rounded officers, no matter what career field that they go into. So, for example, as a logistics readiness officer, which is what I am, although I am doing a lot of people and resource management for the Air Force, in order to do my job well, I'll have to know where the plane part that I'm in charge of sending to another base, like what significance does this plane part have for this plane? And so that's where aeronautical engineering comes in, and my knowledge in that was actually a core class I took at the academy. And so knowing that, knowing what this plane part does for the airplane, although not my specialty, is a good thing to know. So that's just one example of how having a well-rounded core curriculum, which is very important, and that's what all cadets get here at the Air Force Academy. So let's talk a little bit about what we do best here at the Air Force, or just in the Air Force in general, aviation. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the great aviation programs that are very exclusive to Air Force Academy cadets. So the first one here we'll talk about in the top left. So this is a member of our Wings of Blue team, he pretty much just jumped out of an airplane and started parachuting. So in order to be a part of the Wings of Blue team, you must complete a summer program called JUMP. And fun fact, we are the only program in we are the only program in the whole world that allows students to jump out of an airplane and parachute by themselves without an instructor. So I think that's really cool that we are the only place in the whole world that allows students to do that. And that is very exclusive to Air Force Academy cadets, because this is a summer program designed for students after their freshman year. So that's a really cool program. So I did not get to that program, unfortunately, but I got to do the glider program, which is a picture here in the bottom right. So the glider program is where you get to essentially fly a glider for the summer. So the difference between a glider and a powered aircraft in the top right is that a glider requires another plane to tow it up to a certain altitude, and with a glider you're pretty much falling in style. So that's the program I did. And like I mentioned before, we also have a powered flight summer program that's designed for juniors and seniors who are thinking about being pilots, and that's where they really solidify their love for flying. And some of the other programs that are lesser known is the remotely piloted aircraft program, where you get to fly drones around, kind of simulating what you would be doing as an RP pilot for the Air Force. And another one is cyber warfare summer program, is where you are put in a simulation with a bunch of different cadets and play out a real life situation in regards to cyber warfare. So I talked a little bit about what makes the Air Force Academy different, and to further prove that point, we offer 35 different career fields after your time at the Air Force Academy. So you can go into 35 different career fields during your minimum 5-year commitment. 50% of each graduating class become Air Force pilots. So basically, you have a 1 in 2 chance of becoming a pilot for the Air Force. We offer the most efficient and streamlined path to being a pilot. You can start flying as young as 22, 23 years old through commissioning as an Air Force officer from the Air Force Academy and then becoming a pilot. We also now commission 10% of each graduating class into the Space Force, which I'll talk about a little more in a later slide. And other than that, I'm a logistics readiness officer, as I mentioned before. That is 1 out of 35. It just shows, so basically the amount of career fields that we have actually do not correlate to what major you did. So basically, you can get a Bachelor of Science degree in any major. For example, say that a cadet got a Bachelor of Science degree in English. An English major can become a pilot. There is rarely any correlation to what you study in to what you're going to be doing in the future. So the independence and free choice that you have in choosing how you want your Air Force career to go are endless, and the possibilities are theirs. And on top of that, a lot of students go on to do graduate school before they start doing their vocational Air Force job. So I know a lot of friends who are doing law school right now, and a lot of friends who are doing their graduate medical school. I actually have a teammate who I just graduated with, and she's at Stanford, and she's doing graduate school there. So here's just some of the career options that we offer through commissioning through the Air Force Academy. So I talked about the Space Force. So funny story, I actually had a student that I was talking to who thought the Space Force was fake because they saw that show on some streaming platform and thought it was fake. And I had to tell them it's actually an actual real thing. We have a Space Force now, and I actually have a bunch of friends that I graduated with, and they're actually working for the Space Force at LA Air Force Base or at Vandenberg Air Force Base along the coast of California. So General Raymond said it right. The Space Force is very important to our national security. I mean, GPS. Let's talk about GPS. We use GPS in our everyday lives, whether it's trying to get to work or trying to get to school. Making sure our satellites are working and orbiting correctly, and that's what the Space Force is for. That's just one of their jobs that they do. And in recent times, it's been very important that we have some control. We can maintain control over our satellites and in space. So that's why the Space Force was formed. It is of national importance, and as you can see, there's a bunch of career options you can do. I actually know an acquisitions officer, and engineers for the Space Force currently. So this is an option for you. We directly commission 10% of each graduating class into the Space Force. So we also offer a very streamlined and efficient way to become a Space Force officer. So I kept it really short and sweet. If you want to get started on your application, or if you want to learn more about what the application will entail, go to academymissions.com and you can kind of get started on your research if you're considering the Air Force Academy. And I know I didn't want to go over time, just wanted to make sure it was short and simple. If you have any questions for me, if you scan this QR code, just hover your camera over it, a link will pop up for my contact card. You'll see my phone number and my email. I'm the Northern California Admissions Advisor, so I take care of the Northern California region. I am the person to talk to if you want to talk anything about the Air Force Academy, whether it be how my cadet life was there when I was there, or just anything pertaining to the application and anything pertaining to the Air Force. So if you have any questions, please shoot me a text. You can actually text me right now, or send me an email if that's easier. I am really readily available to answer any of your questions. So thank you for listening to my presentation, and yeah, that's it.
Okay, next we have the U.S. Military Academy, West Point. This is Mr. Schwaderer. I believe I hope I pronounced that right, Steve Schwaderer.
Yes, hi, Captain Steve Schwaderer. Can you hear me all right?
We can hear you. Do you have a presentation?
We do. Let me bring that up.
You know how to present? You see the little arrow at the bottom?
I see that.
Okay. So if you click on that and you select full screen, then you will everything you see on your screen will go over the air.
Okay. How do we look at this point? Are we presenting?
No.
No.
Where it says present now?
Oh,
the little up arrow at the bottom of the screen?
I have it.
Okay. You see a mic and then a camera and then a closed caption symbol and then a hand and then there's an up arrow.
Yeah.
And when you mouse over that, it says present now. If you click on that up arrow, you'll get a little white box and it says present. And if you click your entire screen, then it will show what's on your screen.
I don't think we have it yet, do we?
No, we don't see it. Did you click on present your entire screen?
I thought I did. Yes, it looks like we did. So
we see you, but we don't see your slide.
Well, if we can't get it here, we can talk.
We'll get it. We have time. Okay, so did you get the little box? It says present, and then it gives you three options: your entire screen, a window, and a tab.
You know, I'm not seeing the three options.
Okay, so go back down with your mouse, and if you go over the little square with the up arrow in it, if you click on that, left click, if you're using a PC, then you will see a little white box that comes up that says present, and it'll give you three options. Tell you what, I'm going to present and I will show you what I see. Okay.
I have, it says present the entire screen, but
yes. Select that.
I did.
Okay. Now, when you select that, you're going to get a picture of your screen. You need to click on the picture.
On my picture.
No, you click on the picture that comes up in the white box that has a picture of your screen in it. When you click on that, then share will, there you go. You got it. Now we can see your screen.
Oh, good.
Okay. So now we can see your slides. And now if you put them in presentation mode, we'll see them fully. There we go. Very good, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. This is the first time I've done this one. We usually use Zoom. So thank you all. Well, welcome, everyone. I'm Steve Schwaderer. I'm the Northern California field representative for West Point. I'm a graduate, graduated a few years ago. I was a field artillery officer, went through airborne and ranger school, had assignments both in the U.S. and in Europe. After a number of years, then got into the civilian world. And since then, I've been the last 25 years, one of my volunteer efforts has been supporting the Academy with the admissions in the far West. So I handle specifically Northern California. So thank you all for making a few minutes today. I know you've heard a lot of great information. It's like drinking from a fire hose. I'm sure there's so much that you've seen, but all of the academies, I can say, are just wonderful opportunities. I think maybe as a general overall thought, think about what you want to do. What do you individually want to commit to? And what is your passion? And I think that'll help you in kind of looking at which direction to go in. For those of you that are interested in becoming an Army officer, the West Point opportunity is going to be what we're going to spend about the next 10 minutes on. So I'm going to walk through a couple slides. We'll be very brief today because I want to stay on time. I know you've been at this now for about an hour and a half. So what is West Point about? Really, the main thing that I want to convey tonight is that it's about service to the country. It's a great education. It's a great opportunity for learning. But number one, it's service to the country. And you do that by becoming an Army officer. It's a challenge academically, so you'll want to be prepared. For those of you that are juniors, you have some time to begin to get everything together. If you're a senior already, it is not too late to apply to the academies, but you have a very, very short time frame now to get everything submitted. But don't forget, you don't have to enter the academy immediately after high school graduation. You could take a year out and do another, spend a year at another college. You could go to a prep school and then apply to the academy. So you don't want to rule that out if this is something that you want to do. What we offer, and this has been mentioned by the other academies, very, very similar. Tuition, books, room, everything is paid for, plus a stipend. West Point is rated in many of the categories, number 1, 2, and certainly in the top 10 in many of the categories that are evaluated every year. You can see here just a general sense for what that looks like. When you graduate and you become a second lieutenant in the U.S. Army. The branch opportunities are the areas of service that you would select prior to graduation. Probably about a year and a half before graduation, you would have had a chance to look at these different opportunities, talk to different officers that are engaged in these branch opportunities, and begin to decide what area that you would like to focus in. You can see on the left-hand side, the major branches. These are all branches. Most of them have been around for a long, long time, with the exception of the cyber branch. That is new. That's brand new, really within the last year and a half. The other job fields or the other opportunities have been around for a long time, and you can see there's other subsequent career opportunities as well. Let's look at West Point. Where is it? Well, on a map, it's about 50 miles north of New York City. It's on the west side of the Hudson River. You can see the Hudson River in the upper right-hand side. This is an aerial view of the main campus. virtually everything that you do on your daily routine when you're in the academic year is going to be happening inside this photograph. It's a very concentrated area. The one thing I see missing here is the football stadium, which is in the upper left up on the hill. But this is a plateau about 500 or 600 feet above the Hudson River. And this has been the site of West Point since its founding in 1802. Leadership is what we're all about. If leadership is something that you aspire to do and to spend your life developing and lead other soldiers, then West Point is a great opportunity. You can see here that leadership spills over into many, many other activities. It's not always the military, but you can see here from some of the some of the photographs that we have graduates that have risen to very responsible positions for leadership. What does cadet life look like? Well, it's like any other college, in fact, that it's divided up into 4 years. We call them plebe, yearling, cow, and first year. And this is what a day looks like. For the plebes, certainly you're beginning early in the morning. There's a breakfast, and then there's class and study time, which runs from about 7 o'clock in the morning until almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon, at which time athletics take over, and virtually everyone is always engaged in an athletic selected sport. Could be a varsity sport, could be a club sport, could be another athletic opportunity, which we call intramurals, which are also a big program on the campus. We have about 4,000 students on campus at any one time, and we bring in about 1,100 to 1,200 candidates for new cadets each and every year. We're in that process now as we begin to get into October. The deadline for the Congressman, I work closely with Congressional District 11, but for example, their deadline to have everything into them so that they can evaluate for your nomination, that's the end of October. So we're coming up on some of the early deadlines. In terms of the nomination, that usually occurs in early December, and that's something that you would need, like the other academies, you would need a nomination from a senator, congressman, or the president or vice president. Small class size. This is consistent across all of the academies. You'll find very, very similar class size breakouts. 15 to 18 is pretty common. You can see some of the student achievements. West Point has just about as many Rhodes Scholars as Harvard would when you look at the overall statistics. So we have a lot of academic achievers that have gone on and received some great scholarships. This slide here is, I think, important as a takeaway for tonight. It gives you a view of what the variety would look like in terms of your academic majors. You can see here it's very heavily tilted towards the STEM, the science, engineering, and math, but we have a very wide variety of other courses as well. Here's an example of a breakout in the 4 years. Your plebe year gives you a sense for what you'd be taking. You can see here that during the first 2 years, virtually all cadets will take very similar courses. It's not until you begin your 3rd year that the majors come into play, where you're making your own selection depending on the majors that you're going to focus on. In terms of sports, you can see here a pretty wide variety. Just like all the other academies, you've got both men and women's sports with a broad reach of different choices in terms of the athletic activities. Club sports are also important, and then as well as intramurals, which you see on the right-hand side. Probably the vast majority of cadets are actually involved in the intramural sports. During the summer, training continues. There's each and every year, there's a 30-day window where you have leave and you're able to travel. You can travel internationally or spend your time at home. But the other 2 months of the summer are involved in training, which can involve everything from airborne school, air mobile school, to international training opportunities with other armed services. Broadening our opportunities, West Point has significantly increased some of the opportunities for semesters abroad, and this a lot of times depends on having a language skill. Interns are also available, and of course, what we try to do then is at the end of those 4 years, help you develop your excellent academic ability, your leadership potential, and your overall fitness. This slide here is important. This is a criteria you see on the left-hand side in order to apply to West Point. A U.S. citizen, be 17 to 23 years old, not married, not pregnant, or have a legal obligation to support a child. One of the other takeaways for tonight, I would say, if you're thinking about West Point, what you want to do is go onto the website at West Point, usma.com or .org, and look at the initial steps for the candidate questionnaire. And what you'll need to do is submit this information, provide PSAT or SAT scores if you have them, and that completion of this step will then get you what we call the second step. And the second step kit will then ask for additional information and lead you to taking the candidate fitness assessment, which is a 6-event physical fitness test that you'll need to submit as well, then followed by a medical exam. So you have a few steps to do before you consider your application complete. In terms of your candidate evaluation, it's broken down this way. 60% of what we consider relates to academics, and that's displayed by your achievements in SAT or the ACT. You can do both. I suggest doing both if you can. It doesn't hurt to do both. We always take your best score. 30% of your application will be looked at in terms of what you've done in leadership activities, and 10% for fitness. And finally, the medical examination has to be complete by April 15th, but you want to begin to think about starting that sometime towards the end of the year. November, December is pretty common. And then finally, I mentioned a minute ago that one of the things you'll need to do is have a congressional nomination. We nominate from every district, depending on where you live. Each district will nominate a principal typically and 9 other nominations. So each congressional member can send up to the academy recommending 10 students from the district that they can, that the evaluation or the evaluation board at the academy can evaluate and make a decision for admission. Couple final thoughts before we close up today. Be proactive and complete the application early. If you're a junior, you're right on target. If you're a senior, as I mentioned, either you have to be very quick, very speedy in terms of getting everything in, or maybe apply after taking a year doing something after your high school graduation. We do have a number of applicants that come in even after they've done a year of college. And then we also have a prep school that's on the site of West Point. So you spend 1 year at the prep school prior to entering the academy, and having a good performance at the prep school gives you a great opportunity to enter West Point. You can apply to more than one source. In other words, a congressman and a senator is common, and you may as well take advantage of that if you're applying to any of the academies. And then finally, train for and take this candidate fitness assessment. It's 6 events. They're run in a certain order. They end up with a mile run, but by the time you begin your mile run, you've already had 5 other events right in front of it, which includes sit-ups and pull-ups and push-ups, a shuttle run, and a basketball throw. So train for it and be prepared, and that way you'll have a good score. You can see here the application deadlines. The sooner you get your application completed, the better. If you're a junior, begin to think about doing that and starting your application in the summer this next year before you enter your senior year. Finally, ask yourself, are you a leader? Are you mentally tough, physically fit? Are you ready for a challenge? If you are, the opportunity at West Point could be a great opportunity for you for a lifetime. Some of the contact points here for West Point admissions, westpoint.edu/admissions. You can go online. There's a tremendous amount of information there. I want to stop now because I think we're just about out of time. We're available as follow-up. Certainly would invite any of you that have an interest in West Point to look into it further. And I want to thank all of you for your time. I know we're kind of concluding the evening event. So I will conclude now and wish you all the best in terms of your selection for your college years coming up ahead of you. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Schrader. I appreciate it.
I'll stop sharing and you have the floor.
Okay, so next is Lieutenant Colonel Allen with the U.S. Naval Academy. Do we have Lieutenant Colonel Allen in the house?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Do you know how to present in Google Meets? Very good. Okay.
All right, allow block. All right. How am I looking?
Yeah, it's looking good.
All right, let me hide this bar. All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Allen. I am not a Marine. I did not go to the academy. Just for everyone's clarification, I'm a retired Army officer working at the academy. Why do people ask me that all the time? Why are you doing that? Well, it's because it's actually a great program and a great product, and I believe in it. So therefore, I can support it, and I'll show you why. So I'm going down to the next slide. Work with me. There we go. So the Naval Academy is located in Annapolis, Maryland. That's between Baltimore and Washington. And our campus is called the Yard, except for September 19th every year, which is Talk Like a Pirate Day, and then we'll call it the Yard. That's a joke. You guys can go ahead and laugh. But we have brigade service. That's our list of brigade services. It's like a small city. And we have, of course, 22 world-class athletic facilities, and we'll talk about athletics here in a minute. And I just want to show you everybody a snapshot of our brigade of midshipmen. Our cadets, kind of like with the other academies, are called midshipmen, and the brigade is the entire student body. And our goal at the academy is to show a sort of an accurate snapshot of the diverse population of the U.S., and I think we do a pretty good job at that. Like the other academies, I mean, we have 26 available majors. We're very, very heavy in STEM. As you can see, we have, it's very heavy in math and science, and we have a small school of humanities with social sciences. You can be an English major. I personally have a Bachelor of Science in English. I think it was like the Air Force Academy is saying, your degree may not have a bearing on whatever career you had. My degree was in English. My specialty was weapons of mass destruction. But these are the primary majors. We're very, very heavy into STEM. And I just wanted to show, here's our typical core curriculum. So every midshipman will go through this block. So in there where you see 4C, 3C, 2C, and 1C across the top, it stands for fourth class, third class, second class, and first class, which your fourth class are your freshmen or plebes. Third class are your sophomores, second class juniors, first class, and seniors. So you can see in the various colors, the blue is the leadership, the pink kind of in the middle is your math and science, and this is where we're very kind of stringent and very STEM focused. You can see it's heavy math, heavy science, and then down in the bottom block is the humanities. So also where you see the white blocks, that's where you will put your classes for your majors, and you will start taking those classes in the spring of your freshman year. When I was saying we're heavy into sports, we are heavy into sports. We have 33 Division 1A level NCAA sports. The only two universities in the U.S. that have more are Stanford and Ohio State. So for a small campus of around 4,000 students, we have a tremendous amount of athletes. A lot of people want to play, but just like the other academies, we all have intramurals and club sports that are available as well. For our pay and benefits for the scholarships, all the midshipmen receive a full scholarship that covers their tuition, room and board, medical, dental, and optical coverage. In case you weren't aware, you can get up to 1 pair of glasses made per year. And of course, all the midshipmen receive a stipend every month, and at the end of the month, the amount that goes into their pockets is between $125 and $500, depending on how long they've been there. The freshmen or plebes typically get around $125 and then $500 by the time you're a senior. Of course, like the other academies, everybody graduates with a Bachelor of Science. You get it if you want to major in English, it's a Bachelor of Science in English. And when you graduate, you become a commissioned officer in the Navy or the Marine Corps with a 5-year minimum service commitment. We also offer summer training. You can have your summer vacation. We have, of course, your plebe summer when you're a freshman. You will spend in your sophomore year for enlisted experience. You will shadow an enlisted sailor for about a month. In your junior year, or in between your junior year, you'll go to a career exposure where you'll spend a week in an aviation squadron, 1 week on a ship, 1 week with the Marine Corps, and 1 week on a sub to kind of get the feel for what type of career you'll want to go into. And then before your senior year, you do the officer experience where you'll shadow an officer in your selected career field to make you well-rounded and help you make that informed decision on what you would like to do. So we have your options are, the first is surface warfare. If you want to be on a ship, you can actually pick the ship you want to serve on in the region of the world that you want to serve on. And you'll know by the second semester of your senior year. It's kind of like a lottery thing. It's not they treat it like a lottery. You enter your preferences, and then everybody is shown on a big screen, and if they got the type of ship they wanted and where they wanted to go. You also have the availability to become a submarine warfare officer. All of the subs pictured up here are nuclear subs. You'll go to a nuke school and get nuclear trained and how these work. And then you'll go to your specific sub, and you can pick those as well. We actually, around 40% of all of our graduates at the Naval Academy end up being pilots, whether they are for the Navy or for the Marines, because we also commission Marines. We have a lot of pilots and flight officers. We have special warfare. Of course, on the left side of your slide, you'll see some of the Navy SEALs, which their commitment is slightly different, but we train them in like do their pre-training for SEALs before they graduate, and over 90% of our graduates complete the program. And then over on your right, we have explosive ordnance disposal, or EOD, and those are your bomb techs. They work on land and underwater. They do underwater demining, which is pretty interesting. And lastly, is one of the hidden jewels of the Naval Academy is the Marine Corps. You can go ground, air, or almost any of the options that are available through the Navy, you can do through the Marine Corps. But the Marine Corps is also in the process of developing their cyber branch. So there are cyber possibilities, logistics, and a myriad of other things that people just typically don't know. Also during the summer, and this slide is specifically for the 9th, 10th, and 11th graders, the Naval Academy offers their STEM program. It's a 6-day program in June, and we invite 9th, 10th, and 11th graders to participate in that. Hopefully it'll be in person this next year. And for the juniors, between their junior and senior year, we have the Naval Academy Summer Seminar, which if you apply for, whether you attend or were selected or were not selected, your application for the Naval Academy Summer Seminar counts as your preliminary application, which opens in June. Of course, here's our webpage and how you can find us to do your app. And this is the online application. It looks nearly identical as for all the academies. You have personal statement, candidate fitness assessment, or your PT test. It's almost the same for every academy, except I believe the West Point, you have to video record yours. Ours, you do not have to. Your extracurriculars, your candidate academic information from your counselor, math and English recommendations from your teachers, SAT and ACT scores. We recommend that you take those. You can take them as many times as you want, and we will super score the results. So whatever you did the best on for both of those tests, we'll take the top. Your blue and gold officer interview, your DODMER medical examination, and just like the other academies, your nomination. And the fall is the best time to make that happen because many of the congressional offices have varying deadlines. I just want to throw a snapshot up here of the candidate cycle for how it looks on a ribbon of the year. So in January, you want to start taking your ACT, SAT tests. Our summer seminar application opens January 4th, and that also counts as the preliminary application, whether you're in it or not. And then in the summer, of course, is when we have the summer seminar, and we've actually started our boards process the first week of September. So we'll run an admissions board 1 week every week until April 15th. The 31st of December is the deadline for any new applications. You have to finish your application by the 31st of January, and then all candidates are notified by the April 15th. And then once you're accepted, your plebe summer starts typically around that first week of July. In the event some applicants don't get in, just like the other academies, we also have prep schools. There's no stigma about going to a prep school. It's basically the next best thing to guarantee on getting in. If you are selected to attend one of these prep schools, as long as you maintain a high level of physical fitness and academic excellence, it's the next best thing to getting in. So our advice from the Naval Academy for admissions: have a strong foundation in math and science. Don't wait until too far into your high school career to start taking those hard classes like pre-calculus and calculus. Take math and take chemistry and physics with a lab if possible. Strive to be in the top 20% of your high school class. We know some schools do not rank their students, but that's something that we can work with. Take your SAT, ACT class courses early and often. AP and IB courses are encouraged, and we will say, lastly, be well-rounded, demonstrate leadership potential, and have athletic and non-athletic activities. We get asked, what can we count? Like if you are active like in a church group, or if you're like a swing shift leader at McDonald's, or even those little things mean a lot, because the board always looks for a well-rounded person. It's how you sell yourself. So what you do and everything that you've done, it tells a story, and that's what our board wants to see. They look at that whole person concept. For more information, there's like one of the other academies had on there. On the QR code on the left, that will take you to our RFI page. And if you want to contact me directly, that's my digital business card on the right. So if you want to use your phone, hover it over that QR code, that will get you my personal information, my email address, my phone number. And like I said, I am the regional director for admissions at the academy, and I own the West Coast. I have all the West Coast: Alaska, Hawaii, the Northern Marianas, and Guam included in that bunch. So I've got a big chunk of the U.S. on the West, and I'm thankful that I can be here and present this to everybody. And this, barring any questions, this will conclude the Naval Academy's portion of the briefing.
Okay. Thank you very much, Colonel. Next is going to be Lieutenant William Brickham from Cal Maritime Academy. He's going to talk about not only Cal Maritime Academy, but the student incentive program that's sponsored by U.S. Maritime Administration.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for the introduction. Let me see if I can get, I don't use Google Meets very often, so Let's see how this.
Okay, if you go to the up arrow on the bottom and press and see where it says present now, right, left click on that. You'll get a little square that gives you an option. There you go. Okay, you found it. Okay.
All right. Now, do I need to throw this into slideshow mode, or are you guys?
Yeah, put it in slideshow mode.
Okay.
Just go. There you go.
All right. All right. So, yeah. Good evening, everybody.
If you could, Lieutenant. I know you're talking primarily about Cal Maritime, but just so they know that there's several state maritime academies that have a similar program. If you could tell them about what those are, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So as Captain Ortolano mentioned, my name is Lieutenant William Brickham. I am a naval science instructor at California State University Maritime Academy. We like to kind of just call it Cal Maritime around here, but we're the only maritime academy here on the west coast of the United States. We're right here in Vallejo, right next to Jesse Bethel. And in addition, there are 6 other state maritime academies. They've got Great Lakes, State University of New York, Massachusetts Maritime, Maine Maritime, and Texas A&M in Galveston. So those are the state maritime academies. You also have the Merchant Marine Academy, which I think they were here today. So those are kind of your options for state maritime academies. But obviously, like I said, Cal Maritime, we're the only shop on the West Coast. So Cal Maritime, as I mentioned before, it's a California State University, right? So we are kind of a hybrid campus. We are both a CSU campus and a professional academy. So we are not a military academy. Not all of our students are required to join the military. So we have a lot of students on campus that will go on to a civilian career after they get out of school. We are industry specific, so we're really, really small campus. We're the smallest CSU around. And we kind of take almost a trade school approach to our education. So we train students specifically for careers in the maritime industry, whether that's working on commercial ships or working in the ports, Port of Oakland, Port of San Francisco, and those kinds of areas on or near the water. One of the awesome things about our school is we are really an international experience. So all of our students on campus will go on an internship, and the majority of those internships will be overseas. So either taking a ship overseas or working in developing countries around the world and seeing how they do business overseas. We also have some really great stats as far as getting a job after you graduate. So 94% of our students are employed within 3 months of graduating. We also have very high average salary rate. So our alumni have the highest average salary of any university, public or private, in the Western United States. So I mentioned before that one of the things we do is one of the aspects is we go for an international experience. And one of the awesome things about our school is the fact that we have our own ship on campus. So you'll see there in the still frame, that's the training ship Golden Bear. And our students, our licensed track students, will go on board this ship during the summers and will run the ship themselves. This last year, I just got off the ship about 3 weeks ago. We only got to go to Hawaii, unfortunately, due to COVID. But when I was on campus, I'm an alumni of the school. And when I was there during the 4 years on campus, I actually got to go to about 16 different countries. So I'm just going to go ahead and play this clip just so you can get an idea of what we do on the ship.
Why should we die where we were born? Don't matter if I land or if I fall, I know I wanna return. At least I know I'm control. I'm not afraid, 'cause I take the road
So pretty awesome experience in the summer times, getting to go all over the world. Usually we'll go to the Far East, go to different countries in Asia. We'll go to the South Pacific. During that video, they actually went through the Panama Canal and over to the Mediterranean Sea. So pretty awesome opportunities. So as you can see in the video, kind of what we specialize at Cal Maritime is working on ships. And working in the maritime industry in general. So we only have 7 bachelor's degrees options. So we're kind of pretty tailored as far as what we study. So I've got them up there, all the majors we have, and sort of in parentheses there is kind of what you can expect to do with that job. So marine transportation, those students are pursuing kind of a career as a deck officer, and kind of working their way up to eventually being a ship's captain. We also have a number of engineering degrees. Those degrees, the marine engineering technology and mechanical engineering, you're working to eventually become, a ship's chief engineer or managing a ship's engines and power plant, electrical systems, plumbing systems, and all of that. Facilities engineering, where you'll learn how to run power plants or hospitals or kind of large facilities. Those are kind of our license track majors, where you not only get your bachelor's degree, but you also get a license as a third mate or third engineer. Additionally, we've got a business degree that's focused on maritime business, global studies, and maritime affairs, which is a maritime policy degree. And our newest major is oceanography. So one thing to point out, the degrees that have an asterisk next to them, marine transportation, marine engineering technology, and mechanical engineering, those those majors are eligible for our student incentive payment program, which I'll cover here in a second. So real quick, our admission requirements, they align very closely with what you'd expect at a normal CSU. 2.5 cumulative GPA. For the A3G courses, which you can look that up at our Cal State Apply website and get an idea for what that layout is. I've also got a short list of them down there, the basic requirements. Additionally, we encourage students from Solano County residents to come to our school. So we have a lower requirement for local students to get accepted to the school. So real quick, I wanted to talk about our strategic sea lift officer program that we have on campus. Like I said, we aren't a military school, but we do have a military program. We actually send a lot of our students into the military. So my role on campus is working with our strategic sea lift officer program, which is an officer commissioning program for the U.S. Navy Reserve. So the Strategic Sea Lift Officer Program, we're, like I said, a reserve program. So you're serving part-time, and once you get out of school, you can pursue your civilian career or whatever you majored in at school. You can go be an engineer for, a commercial company and serve your country part-time as a Navy Reserve officer. So we're kind of used by the Navy as maritime subject matter experts. So what you're learning on campus is actually what you're going to be doing for the Navy, which is a pretty uncommon thing. Most of the time, the ROTC students and the Naval Academy students, they'll study English or history or something like that, and then they'll go into the workforce and do something completely different. So we are actually doing what we learn at school for the Navy, which is a pretty cool opportunity for us. So like I said, we maintain our civilian career in the maritime industry. And then unlike the normal 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year kind of reserve commitment that you normally hear about, we actually only have to do 2 weeks of active duty a year. And we don't have to go in one weekend a month because we're expected to be out on the ship. You can also pursue an active duty commission through our program. Last year, we sent 2 of our graduates to be surface warfare officers, and one of them is going to flight school to be an aviator. Another important thing is we are a Navy program, but we are allowed to commission our midshipmen into any branch of the armed forces. So in the interest of time, we'll see if I can try and skip over this one. Over that video. So the Student Incentive Payment Program, as Captain Ortolano mentioned, it is a Maritime Administration funded scholarship for $32,000. Obviously it's a little bit less than what you could expect from the Naval Academy or from the ROTC scholarships, but we also don't require our students to commission active duty. So a little bit less pay, but also less commitment as far as not having to go on active duty and being able to pursue a regular civilian career afterwards. So the members of our SSO program on campus are eligible for the Student Incentive Payment Program, and that is to be used for tuition, uniforms, books, and subsistence. So pretty much that money is to be used for college. So I got my contact info up here. Our webpage for the SSO program is pretty short, csum.edu/SSOP. You can find my contact info up there as well on the webpage. And our applications are going to be opening up here on the 1st of October. So definitely encourage all of you, especially for your local kids that are from Jesse Bethel, to take a look at our school because it's a really great opportunity here close to home. And I'll hand it back to you, sir.
Okay, is the Navy ROTC representative available? Chief Jung.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Chief, do you know how to present?
So I'm not sure I can
Okay.
hear you.
You see the icons at the bottom of your screen? You have a mic, a camera, a closed captioned, a hand, and an up arrow in a box. Left click on the up arrow and it will give you a white box that says present. Do you have any sound, video, or just a slideshow?
Let's see.
Do you have sound, video, or just a slideshow?
I can't hear you, sir, but can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can't.
You can't hear me?
No, sir.
Okay, I'm going to type it to you in the chat.
Can you hear me then?
I can hear you.
Interesting.
Okay.
How about now?
This is one of the vagaries of dealing with modern.
I'm so sorry. I'm not really good with the
okay.
Google Meet.
That's okay. No problems. I'm going to type to you what you need to do. Can you see my messages that are coming up?
Yes, sir. Okay. mouse over the top arrow icon at the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
It presents that with the full grid to me to the click on picture.
Which step are you at? Did you click on the up arrow at the bottom of the screen? Out of those icons, you see a little mic, a little camera, a little closed caption, a hand,
Oh my God.
and then there's an up arrow in a rectangle. Left click on the up arrow.
It's up.
Okay, you turn your camera off. You need to do the up arrow.
Looks like you can see me now. You turn your camera off. You need to do the up arrow.
It's the fifth icon from the left at the bottom of the screen.
The fifth icon.
It's the one right next to the three vertical dots.
Click on
It's between the hand and the three vertical dots. Do you see that icon? From the left, you have an icon for a microphone. Next, you have an icon for.
I'm not able to present. It says Google Chrome and I have the screen recording permission on my computer.
Are you using Chrome? Are you using Chrome?
Yes.
Okay. So so you're able to are you able to present and then select full
I
screen?
can present and select, but it won't let me present because it says Google Chrome. And they told me to go to system preferences and I did go there. It still won't me share my screen for some reason.
Oh. Okay. Well, I tell you what, email me your slides and then I will present your slides and you can speak over your slides.
Oh, yeah, that works. Let me get the screen.
There's my email address. I just put it in the chat box.
I sent the officer.
Okay, I haven't received it yet. It may take a while to get to me. Usually it takes about 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, I got your slides. I'm going to open your slides. I'm waiting for them to download and open. Okay, it's a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, I have your slides and I will present and then you can speak over okay? Okay, and then you just tell me when to click on the next slide and I will let you speak.
Yes, sir.
Okay, your slide is presented.
Thank you, sir. All right, everybody. Hi, how are you? This is Chief Zen. I'm Navy Korea Consular. I working out of San Francisco. We have Navy talent acquisition group out here, and I have one of my colleagues, Chief Jay Ferreira, with me here. He's local in Vallejo area. Today, I'm going to present this great program, it's NROTC, Naval Reserve Officer Training Course. Next, sir. So the purpose of NROTC, we have this wonderful program. Basically, it's a full ride scholarship with a stipend book paid for, which we want to develop a Navy mission shipment, mentoring morally and physically, and instill a basic professional background in the naval service, developing mind characters to assume the highest responsibility of command, citizen, and government. Next, sir. And basically, this program is really simple. A lot of as long as the school we hosted, you get accepted to school. When you apply to this program, it's a full ride scholarship. Like I say, payment for all the required fees and stipends. I will talk about the stipend later. Classroom training to include summer training sections, all the experience of Navy career opportunity platform, and also demands on academic characters. Of course, we gotta have moral and physical leadership development. Next, sir. Upon the ultimate goal for NROTC program is upon your graduation, you're going to get commissioned as an ensign in the Navy, and commerce your Navy career with understanding of the Navy mission systems platform. And also there are a lot of the officer community here. I'm going to introduce you. You will be able to get into one of those. One is service warfare, submarines, aviation, special operations, nurse corps. Next, sir. And here we talk about nurse corps is a little different from the other line officers. Nurse corps, you're going to, if you're going, I'll talk about it later when we're doing the ROTC application. You will be obtain the BSN, Bachelor Degree in Nursing and commission as a nurse corps officer in the Navy. And the obligation for nurse corps is 4 years. For other programs, it's 5 years. Here there's a catch. Here is none of those programs fit into a medical school. So if you guys want to talk about this medical school application or how to utilize Navy scholarship, I can talk about that. I'm actually medical officer recruiter as well. Next, sir. So this scholarship benefits, you can see is significant. I already talked about it. Full tuition paid for, even super expensive private school. We'll talk about what are high private schools in the later slides. It's 4 years degree. You can major in any degree on your choice. It's guarantee a job, earn a salary immediately after college. Next, sir. Scholarship benefits, full tuition, all mandatory fees, monthly stipend, book stipend, all uniform, and 3 summer cruises. Next, sir. So here's the stipends. How that works is the first year you're gonna get $250 per month for that, and the second, every single year increase. So the second year is $300, third year is $350, last year will be $400. So book stipend is going to be $750 stipend per year. So most ROTC unit has book exchange as well. So next, so these are the top colleges in California. Will be UCLA, UC Berkeley, Stanford, UC San Diego State, UC Davis. All the good schools in California are the host schools for NROTC. And then you can see all the top Ivy League schools, Harvard, Cornell, Columbia is one of them. They just affiliated with the NROTC, I think about 5 years ago when I started my Navy recruiting in New York. So Cornell, of course, all the Dukes, North Carolina State, University of North Carolina, those schools. There's a link here. You can check out all the schools, even including those cross-town affiliation, and also there's core program as well. Here is the next, sir. NROTC North Core is, like I talk about, is a bachelor BSN hands-on clinical training with latest equipment, most prestigious hospital in the world. We got to talk about what the Navy hospital commands. You can see it's East Coast, Modesto, West Coast, San Diego, Japan, Spain, Hawaii, Florida, and Italy. Next, sir. Eligibility requirements. You're U.S. citizens in the process of becoming U.S. citizens, but when you get selected to a program before you start going to school, you have to become U.S. citizen. That's what we talk about in the process of being a U.S. citizen. So 17 years old by September 1st of freshman year, no older than 23 years by June 30. Graduate high school by August 1st, apply and be accepted to NROTC host schools. What I was talking about a couple slides ago, those colleges are NROTC host schools. If you select it, like I said, you have to be a citizen in order to activate the scholarship. Next, sir. SAT, ACT requirements, those are minimum requirements. So 550, 540, 1100 combined, and ACT 22, 21, 44. Here is, they talk about minimum requirement to apply, but the hires are better. So normally, I personally help a few NROTC application before. So normally comparative is about 1400, and ACT is about combined score is 44. But as the GPA definitely taking into consideration as well, we're going to talk about the physical requirement and the application process in the future. Next, sir. Okay, physical requirement. There's no minimum and maximum weight requirement to apply, but if you do get selected, you'll be directed to take a DoD medical exam, which is to go through DoD MERB or one of the assigned agency to get your medical exam, and must be arrived at college within Navy or U.S. Marine height and weight standards. So those are pretty standard thing. If you guys have any questions, can feel free to email me about those questions. And pre-arrival physical training guide available at this link over here. Next. Academic requirements. So NROTC course load. So you have to take those naval science classes and the weekly NROTC drill instructions, English grammar and composition also common, 1 year's calculus, 1 year physics, and then national security policy and American military affairs. So those are NROTC course load when you in this NROTC schools. those additional classes, you have to meet the requirement. Next. Service obligation, like I talked about before, if you doing any other officer, if you join any other officer community, you'll be obligated for 5 years active duty, but nurse corps is 4 years. That's not boot camp. We do have officer candidate school. Next, sir, this is how much money you get paid right after you graduate from college. So this is really considerable. So all those housing allowances in San Diego is gonna go up. I think this year is already more than 24. Those data are a little outdated. So keep that in mind. The basic pay is the only thing taxable, and then the other two is not taxable. And all other special pays you are in the Navy, like sea pay, hazard pay, or separation pay, are tax-free as well. Next, so what's the catch? There's no catch. When you apply for NROTC doesn't mean you're obligated in any way. And the second thing is, even you are accepted to the program and you decided, or you got a scholarship, or you decide this is not what you want, you can always turn down. Another thing is, as long as you didn't start the second year of the college, you can always turn down, you can decline the scholarship without obligation, which you probably will get the first year scholarship, first year college paid for by ROTC without any obligation if you turn it down before the second year. You don't have to pay back any tuition fees or stipends. Next. Okay, benefit of the Navy. We all know active duty, we have a lot of benefits. We have GI Bill, we have medical, dental benefits, 30 days paid vacation, travel opportunities, which I have traveled to about 18 different countries over the last 12 years. Community outreach opportunities, which is a lot of great opportunities is coming up here. And in the beginning of October, there's a San Francisco Fleet Week. Feel free to check it out. Here's how to apply. So you go to the link, and then you release your SAT score to the code and apply 5 NROTC affiliated schools. Make sure you apply to 5. When you put in the 5 options, make sure you apply to all these 5 schools. And then you have to obtain official transcript and consular math teacher, other official evaluations, and you have to sign documents with Navy recruiter. Next. This is the website for Navy Reserve Officer Training Corps. So when you go in there, you'll see the little hick here is NROTC home about program information. And this is Navy ROTC schools. You can click in there to see exactly what schools based on states. So you can figure out the school you want to is under this program or not. Majority of school is under is the NROTC host school. Application package, you're going to submit the link I showed you before is online application. You submit that, and then you're gonna recruiter is gonna reach out to you to ask you for official high school transcripts, SAT scores, and requests for consular evaluations, math teacher evaluations, other officer evaluation, and the applicant's fitness assessment. And 3 statements, of course, on the drug programs, zero tolerance, alcohol, stuff like that. And last thing is the officer interview, which recruiter is gonna help you to schedule that. Next. Resume, it's optional, but it's good to have it. You don't have to have those, but you probably want to have a motivational statement when you in one of the form you have to fill out, and also when you interview with the officers, you might you have to include those things in there. Next. Recommendation, take SAT, ACT often, which the higher is better. The higher SAT, ACT score is gonna make you more competitive. And sooner you complete the application package, the higher chance you're being selected. That means because every single year we have a lot of application coming in, and we do have a cutoff timeline. So it's always to prepare early and get a package in and then schedule the officer interviews. Next, and if you have any questions, like I say, you feel free to reach out to me. I'll put my email down below. And also my colleague, Chief Ferrara, is here as well. So he's local in Vallejo area. I work out majority in San Francisco and Mountain View. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Any questions?
I don't see any questions that have come over the YouTube live stream, Chief.
Oh, thank you, sir.
So, I thank you very much. And I'm going to stop presenting. And at this point, we ought to have Staff Sergeant Haywood in the house. Is Staff Sergeant Haywood here?
Yes, I am, sir.
From the Marines. Okay, you know how to present?
Correct, sir.
Okay. Then you can present. I will put Chief Jung's email address in the live stream chat box.
Can you guys see the presentation?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
It's not in present mode, though. There it is. Very good.
Good?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening. I'm Staff Sergeant Haywood. I'm your local Marine Corps recruiter. All right. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about the NROTC program as well. I'm going to talk to you guys more about the Marine Corps option of the NROTC program. For those who don't know, okay, the Marine Corps is actually a department under the Navy. So we share a lot of programs. Our programs are kind of interchangeable with each other. So one of those being is our scholarship program, the NROTC scholarship. All right. So let's just get into a little bit for the Marine side. So the NROTC scholarship mission for the Marine Corps, at least, is to educate highly trained, qualified men and women to have careers in the United States Marine Corps. All right. We are one of the hardest branches to get into because of our standards and because of our training. So to be an officer in the Marine Corps, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of physical and mental, to be able to essentially rise to that occasion. And the NOTC scholarship helps young men and women that strive to be leaders of Marines to achieve that goal. All right, some of the benefits of the scholarship, okay? Let's just get into it. So paid full tuition, lab fees, books, and uniforms, okay? It also provides leadership opportunities within ROTC units, all right? Structured academic environments, just like most of the other scholarships offer. We offer the monthly stipend as well, freshman through your senior year. And some universities that we work with actually offer free room and board as well. Just difference about the Marine Corps like option is just how we essentially run our ROTCs. That's all. But like I said, it is with the Navy, so it kind of goes hand in hand. Some eligibility requirements, okay? Just like the chief said, you must be a U.S. citizen, born or naturalized, okay? So you have to be a citizen for the Marine Corps option. You have to be between the ages of 17 and 23 years of age, okay? Other branches, other universities, they have their own age requirements. For the Marine Corps, we are a little bit more stringent on age requirements because of how long our training is and what the body actually gets put through to become a Marine. All right. You have to be physically qualified to the Marine Corps standard. Okay. Marine Corps standard is different than the Navy's. In order for you to be able to qualify for a scholarship through the Marine Corps, you have to run what we call a physical fitness test. Okay. A physical fitness test for the Marine Corps consists of pull-ups or push-ups, crunches or a plank, although after next year, the crunches portion will be going away and it will just be a plank, and a 3-mile run. All right. So just to give you some type of insight of what it means to apply for the scholarship through the Marine Corps, okay? You must have no moral disqualifications. So if you have too many suspensions from school, you might not be eligible to apply for the scholarship through the Marine Corps. If you have too many expulsions from for the scholarship through the Marine Corps. If you have any type of background, whether it be like any type of police involvement or sealed records or something like that, you might not be able to apply for the scholarship through the Marine Corps. We just have higher standards when it comes to who we are selecting to become officers for the United States Marine Corps. You must be a high school graduate, okay, upon your completion of your senior year. If you are not going to be on track to graduate and you do not finish high school on time, you will not be eligible to apply for the scholarship through the Marine Corps. Some of the minimum requirements, just like it was for the Navy, you have to, and most of the other schools, SAT scores, ACT scores, and one of the options that is not listed on there, but that you can utilize to apply for the scholarship is an ASVAB score. Okay, the minimum score that you must achieve for the SAT is a 1,000. For the ACT is a 24, and again, even though it's not listed there, for the ASVAB it is a 74 to be academically eligible to apply for the scholarship. To be admitted and to a participating, and you must be admitted to participating colleges. So what that means is, just like the chief said before me, there are a lot of colleges that the NROTC scholarship works for, okay? In order for you to be eligible for the scholarship as well, you have to be accepted to a 4-year university for the Marine option, okay? It does not apply to 2-year colleges. So no community colleges, only 4-year universities. There is only one exception to the rule. In Arizona, Arizona has a prep school for ASU that is a 2-year community college. That is the only college that is the exception to the rule, where you can apply for their 2-year college first, then transfer over to their 4-year university. All the other colleges, they must be 4-year universities. But just like said before, the scholarship is able to be used nationwide. Again, no criminal record or anything like that, okay? For your physical fitness test, right, for the Marine Corps, for your physical fitness test, you must score a minimum of 200 on your physical fitness test to meet the physical requirements for the Marine option. All right, so some competitive scores. I myself have been out here in American Canyon for about a year now. And last year, what we have seen for competitive scores for the students that won the NROTC scholarship through the Marine Corps option was an average GPA of 3.0, an average SAT score of between 1,100 to 1,200, and an ACT of 27. For the kids that you chose to use the ASVAB option, they all met the 74 or higher requirement. And then for the physical fitness standard, the average physical fitness score was 250. So just right here is a list of some participating schools that you could consider applying to during your senior year. Just like was said in the last one, the scholarship pretty much covers most universities nationwide, from East Coast to West Coast. So it's really where you decide to go and where your heart desires. There's probably a top university that supports the NROTC scholarship that is willing to accept your scholarship and give you your college experience that you're looking for. There we are. But as listed below, and let me just hide that real quick. There we go. As listed below, the same website that you can go to is listed at the bottom right there for you to be able to see all the schools that actually accept and work with the NROTC scholarship. There is a long list of schools that you can go to. So by all means, if you want to go somewhere special, give it a shot. Some academic details, okay? So just so you know, to give you a kind of idea of what it means to utilize the scholarship and go to college, okay? Like I said, you can apply for pretty much any undergrad degree that you're looking for, all right? For the Marine Corps, we generally keep it to a 4-year degree, all right? Now, That's why we use the word most, because some degrees maybe might take you a little bit outside that 4-year requirement, in which case it's a case-by-case basis. But generally, for the Marine option, it's a 4-year degree, and then you commission as a United States Marine officer. Okay, you must carry a regular course load while you're a student at these colleges. Okay, you must maintain a good academic standing, which means you cannot let your grades drop below a 2.0 in order to maintain that scholarship and keep it. Okay, if it drops below a 2.0, you can be in danger of losing your scholarship. But because we understand, you know, it is college, you know what I'm saying? For some of you guys, it'll be your first times away from family and everything like that. We understand that sometimes focusing on schoolwork might be a little difficult. So the NROTC scholarship also offers free tutors and in specific study halls that are just utilized for those candidates that are on that scholarship to be able to go and have places that are quiet, that can help them achieve like those grades that they need to achieve to keep that scholarship. All right. Not to mention all the other midshipmen, all the other upperclassmen are also going to be there to help you through your degree programs and your studying that you need, that have taken the classes that you are trying to take before you. So some social activities, okay, because those who choose to do the Marine Corps option as for the NROTC scholarship, Marines like to do things different, okay? We are big with celebrations. We are big with our Marine Corps ball, and we love to play sports. We love to have social gatherings. We are social creatures. So for the Marine option, and what we like to do is we like to get the candidates that are on the NROTC scholarship, and we like to bring them together and do things like formals, teach them what it means to be a Marine and show them how we celebrate the Marine Corps ball, and essentially build that brotherhood and start building that camaraderie while you guys are there in college. So that way, once you commission as officers, it's not new. It becomes like a pretty much part of who you are, and you can't wait for the next ball, or you can't wait for the next social, or just to be around Marines again. But you are going to, like I said, be encouraged to play sports at these colleges and participate physically and everything like that. So what is the obligation? Good question. Okay. So upon graduation from your college of choice, okay, you will be commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps. What that means for you is you have to serve a minimum of 4 years, okay? I know on the screen it says 8-year obligation, okay? That 8-year obligation means 4 years active, 4 years inactive, all right? But you can choose to elect to serve those following 4 years active duty in the reserves if you so choose for the Marine option, okay? So you can either be a Marine Reserve officer or you can be a Marine active duty officer, all right? Which means a minimum of 4 years active duty service. All right. Unless you are trying to be a pilot. If you're trying to be a pilot in the Marine Corps, then your requirement, your obligation goes from a 4-year active duty contract to a 5-year active duty contract, because flight school is long. And in some cases, it actually might even be 6 years, depending on what aircraft you are going to be specialized in flying. So what is a common question that I get all the time? And I listed it below because I get it all the time, all right? So the question is, if I decided to disenroll or no longer interested in the NROTC program, what does that mean? So if you get awarded the scholarship, okay, what I share with young people and what they are astonished by every time I mention it is that no matter if you decide to finish the program or not, all right, you're automatically going to get your first year and first day of your sophomore year free. Okay, because you've applied for the scholarship, you've put in the time and effort to win the scholarship, we're automatically going to give you that first year and first day free. Okay, anything after the first day of your sophomore year, you start accumulating what's called recoupment. Okay, so essentially you start accumulating a payback amount for your scholarship. Make sense? And there are 2 ways that you can, pay it off and not have to worry about that recoupment amount. One is continue with the commission as a United States Marine Corps officer. 2 is if, like, let's say for some reason you do not make it in OCS, an officer candidate school, and you still want to finish out your college degree even though you don't make it in our officer candidate school. Your only requirement at that time would be to serve 2 years as enlisted, and you would be fine. All right. So that means you either have the option of making it as an officer or serving 2 years as enlisted if you can't make it as an officer. But if you decide not to do either, if you decide not to accept the commission, or if you decide not to accept or finish out your full 4 years in college, then you will have to pay back what you use after your first day of your sophomore year. All right. So summer training, all right? The Marine Corps understands that the reason why you guys are applying for these scholarships is because you want that college life, you want that college experience. You want to be able to essentially sit in class most of the day and then hang out with friends on weekends, which is great. So what we do is we allow your full freshman, sophomore, and junior years during the school year to be nothing but school. Focus on academics, right? But during the summer times, that's when we go and we have fun, okay? Your summer before your freshman year, okay, you're going to be spending it in Great Lakes, all right? Just learning, understanding a little bit about our naval traditions and being around the Navy a little bit. The first summer after your freshman year, you're going to spend it with the Navy again, okay? Because like I said, we have naval traditions. We are deeply rooted within the Navy because we are the Department of the Navy. Okay. Your second summer, so that's the summer after your sophomore year. All right. You're going to be going up to Bridgeport, California. That's where we do all of our mountain warfare training. All right. It's actually pretty fun. It's pretty beautiful up there. High altitudes for those who like to travel, great scenery. All right. And then for your third summer, all right, for after your junior year, you're going to go to what's called OCS in Quantico, Virginia. All right. That's Officer Candidate School. That's that school that you go to in order to earn the title United States Marine and become commissioned as a United States Marine Corps officer. In OCS, okay, OCS is 10 weeks long in Quantico, Virginia, like I said earlier, all right? That's where you're going to be evaluated to see if you have what it takes to be a leader of Marines, all right? They're going to test your leadership abilities. They're going to challenge you mentally, physically, emotionally. They're going to push you to your limits and see if you have what it takes to be a part of the best. How to apply? Simple. You're going to go to that same NROTC website that the chief had spoke about before me. The only difference is when you utilize our link, it's going to say Marine. It's going to say Marines underneath the link. All right. And there's going to be 2 parts. So there's 2 ways to do this. You can do it on your own, by yourself, right? And then come meet with somebody like myself to do the physical portion, like your physical fitness test. And then we'll set up your interviews and everything like that for the scholarship. Or you can do the entire procedure, there we go, the entire procedure with me, and I will walk you through each step, okay? I will walk you through the online portion. I will walk you through the in-person portion of the scholarship and prepare you to the best of my ability to be highly qualified for that scholarship. That is my job for you guys, is to be your liaison between the schools and the Marine Corps. And I will do my best to help you guys apply for that scholarship if it is something that you dream to become, okay? So listed below is some of the requirements. Like I said, you have to complete a hard copy and you have to complete a copy online. There are 3 letters of recommendations that you must have. You must conduct your physical fitness and have 2 Marine Corps officer interviews, all right? Those will all be set up through myself. So all you have to do is meet with me and I can get you started on the process. So just so you guys know, selection boards, okay? So right now the NROTC scholarship is open and it is hot right now. So what you guys need to know is that if you were hoping to get your first look, to be early and make sure that you can possibly see if you can get the scholarship before everyone else usually does, then that time unfortunately has already passed, okay? That was the early board in September. Usually students get 2 times to be seen by a board to see if they get selected for the scholarship and get awarded money for college, all right? Unfortunately, those who have not reached out to any of us by the 1st of September, you guys are already behind the curve, okay? So what that means is those who wish to get in and get on this scholarship and get this money for school, now is your time to reach out to either myself or another recruiting office and get the details and get started on your package, all right? Because the next board is in December. The board's going to be held in December, and it will be let out by January. So by January, February timeframe is when we'll hear who the final recipients are of that NROTC scholarship. Okay. So like I said, if you are ready to do this, and if you really want to, this free scholarship for the college of your choosing, please don't hesitate to reach out. Please don't wait till the very last minute to try to do this, because if you wait till the last minute, it's going to get harder and harder and harder, and virtually impossible for you to get everything done that you need to get for the scholarship in order for you to be competitive and win. All right. So, any questions? All right, if there's no questions, okay, remember, my name is Staff Sergeant Haywood. I'm the local Marine Corps recruiter from, I'm here in American Canyon and Benicia, all right? I cover all the schools from Vallejo down to Benicia High School and all the other schools in between. Please reach out to me and let me know if this is something that you are interested in, all right? My contact information is listed below, all right? You can give me a call or you can send me an email. Either one of them work. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Staff Sergeant. I don't think we have our representative of the Coast Guard Academy present. So
we are here, Captain.
Oh, you are here? You're here?
Yes.
Oh, very good. Okay. Okay. You know how to present?
We're going to try it out here. Give me
so
1 second.
You see the little up arrow icon at the bottom of your screen between the hand and the 3 vertical dots?
Yes.
Click on that, and if it's only slides, select full screen. There you go. If it's video, you have to do a different option, but that looks like it works.
All right, perfect.
Okay.
Can you see us as well right now, or just the slides?
We can see you. Well, what's going over YouTube is just the slides.
Okay, sounds good. Perfect.
And then you need to put the slides in presentation mode.
All right, perfect.
Because right now, yeah, there we go. Okay, very good.
All right, perfect. Good evening, everyone. I am First Class Joseph Ross.
I'm First Class Matt Doyle.
And we are First Class Cadets at the United States Coast Guard Academy. We're currently on a recruiting trip in Denver, Colorado, so we're coming to you live from there. Well, as I said before, we're both seniors at the Coast Guard Academy. I'm an electrical engineering major. I run track and cross country, and I'm from Omaha, Nebraska.
And I'm a management major. I do track and cross country as well. And I'm from Winter Springs, Florida, which is just outside of Orlando.
We're here to talk to you about one of the lesser known, but just as great service academies, the United States Coast Guard Academy, based out of New London, Connecticut. So first off, just a little bit about the United States Coast Guard. I know you guys don't know a ton about it, being more of a landlocked area, but they are the ones that were part of the Department of Homeland Security, and we're the ones, we have a very wide mission set. We protect the public, the environment, and U.S. economic interests in our nation's ports and waterways. We have a couple units internationally, but we deal with everything in the maritime domain. That goes from checking life jackets on your mom and pop boats to busting drug runners down in Panama and Colombia, to checking all the cargo ships that come into the ports of the Middle East, where our troops are. We serve anywhere along the coast. We have stations. We have cutters that go internationally and patrol all the oceans. What am I missing? Regards to Coast Guard?
I mean, we also have different mission sets, including we have Cyber Command, as well as the aviation and prevention. We do inspections and such. So the Cyber Command is more new to the Coast Guard, but they're constantly increasing the amount of ensigns specifically that go there. I know that about 6 of the last class went up to Cyber Command, and they're currently doing the mission set, and they're really enjoying it. So it's something that's ever increasing.
And these are all missions and activities that you get to be a part of, whether you go enlisted or you go to the Coast Guard Academy and commission as an ensign.
As for just the Coast Guard Academy at a glance, it's a smaller campus, but it's big enough. I'd say it's 103 acres. It's selective. I believe for our class there's a 17 or 60%, but it varies from 10 to 20% about. The student body is very diverse, but we're about sitting at a little over 1,100 students, with about 40% being female. We're representing about 20 different countries as well, with numerous international cadets in all 50 states. One of the great benefits of going to the Coast Guard Academy is the economic benefit, including the $300,000 education. You get paid approximately $1,200 every single month to go there, as well as you get a lot of different benefits, including medical, as well as job placement following as an ensign of the United States Coast Guard. One thing that I think was specifically intriguing to me when I applied and got into the academy was the humanitarian mission. I remember 3 years ago actually, I was at a small boat station in the Outer Banks, North Carolina. And one day I was just learning about how to operate search and rescue missions. And the next day we were helping out a capsized catamaran vessel, taking people out of the water. It's very applicable, and you're out there to help people. And as well as that showed the 85% graduate retention rate. And so after 5 years, following the academy, it's only 5 years of payback essentially. And 85% of the people who make it to that 5-year mark want to continue because it's such a close-knit service. I know I would have to say 80% of the people at the academy by name and the other 20% by face. So it's very close-knit, and it's something that's going to follow you and have great connections as the future goes on.
Those are some of the very unique things about the Coast Guard Academy and the Coast Guard compared to the other services, as well as any other college that you attend, is it is very small. You know everyone, and it's honestly better that you know everyone because you have so many connections. No matter where in the nation you go, where you get stationed, you have a friend, you have someone that you know, you have something in common. As well as the 40% female, it's you're not going to see that in any other services at any of the other service academies or at a lot of colleges around the nation. We pride ourselves in our diversity as well as our inclusion at the academy and in the service. So at the Coast Guard Academy, we pride ourselves in developing leaders of character that are professional and well-educated. So you're going to get all three realms at the academy. One thing we really harp on are our core values of our service, which are honor, respect, and devotion to duty, all of which we base our training upon as well as our everyday actions and our service upon. It's a leadership-driven curriculum, so not only are you going to get a college experience becoming an electrical engineer, naval architect engineer, a government major, but you're also going to be doing a lot of leadership training throughout, preparing you for your job as an officer in the Coast Guard. We have a cadet regimental system, which has a hierarchy in place, just like the military. You get a little model of that at the academy. You're going to move up in the ranks as you move up from a freshman to a senior. You're going to gain responsibilities leadership-wise, as well as your role is going to change. So you start out freshman year as strictly a follower. You're serving in the junior enlisted role and the junior role of the organization. So you're going to be doing a lot of the grunt work. You're going to be taking out the trash. You're going to be having a lot of knowledge tests, learning the basic knowledge that you need to acquire and memorize in order to be a proficient member of the organization. And then as you move up, you're going to become one of the ones guiding the fourth class, guiding the freshmen, and then moving up to where you're the ones training the freshmen and taking on that leadership role. And then finally, as a senior, you're going to be the ones, you're not doing a lot of work, you're doing more of the leading, more of the supervising, getting you ready to then commission as an officer the next year where you're in that supervisory role. You're going to be leading people who are older than you, who are more experienced than you, and you need to know how to manage that in those different leadership situations. We have a lot of different majors at the academy, although it is very STEM focused, so science, technology, and engineering. As you can see, here are all of our majors. A lot of them are engineering based, and a lot of them, our academics are very, very good at the academy, sorry. One unique thing about the academy is that the teachers are not doing research like you'll get at another college. Their job is to teach, and they are there for you. And with it being such a small school, there's a very good student to faculty ratio. So I think it's 1 to 7. So one teacher for every 7 students. And as well as with the small size, you're going to get to know your class very, very well, as well as your major very, very well. So starting your 3rd class or your sophomore year, you're going to start taking major specific classes with all the same group of people. And it's with those people that you're going to study with, you're going to take tests with, you're going to go through the trials and tribulations of your specific major, as well as the academy with, and grow really, really close and learn how to work together with a lot of different people to overcome a lot of obstacles that you're going to face academically.
Alrighty, as well as academics in the United States Coast Guard Academy, we also have an array of sports, including primarily D3 with several D1 as well. And including the D1 and D3 sports, we also have numerous options for club sports as listed: bowling, boxing, etc. I know that we're both on, in addition to the track and cross country team, we're both on the marathon club as well, running marathon next month. The opportunities are there to really enhance your athletic ability and also just gain that camaraderie that comes with that. As for us on the cross country and track team, we get to run against schools such as Worcester Polytechnic Institute, as well as Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Babson. So it's a wide array of smaller schools, but they're all solid schools, and it provides a great opportunity to enhance something you did in high school most likely, but also you're also emphasizing the importance of why you're at college, which is not to do sports, but it's to become a United States Coast Guard officer.
So like you've heard in a lot of the other programs and a lot of the other education programs that have been presented tonight, one of the things that makes the Academy unique is, and really, really fun, is the summer training programs. So during the school year, you are doing normal college with a lot of military mixed in, but the summers are strictly for military training. So your fourth class year, that's when you enter the organization, enter the academy, and that's when you're going to do your basic training, your indoctrination period. And that's going to be 7 weeks. We call it swab summer, where you're at the academy. You're doing the traditional getting yelled at, rote memorization, lots of physical activity, push-ups. But that's the time where you learn all of the basic information that you're going to need to succeed as an academy cadet, as well as a future Coast Guardsman in the organization. Another thing you do during that time is you spend a week on Eagle, which is this sailboat down here. It's called America's Tall Ship. It was actually a war prize from Nazi Germany after World War II. And that's what we use as our training ship to train all officers, whether it be that you come through the academy or you go to OCS. And fourth class year in that summer is kind of where you get your first little taste of being on a ship. I know I'm from Omaha, Nebraska, and that was my first time underway. It was very eye-opening to me. I'd seen the ocean twice before going to the academy, and I got very, very seasick that first week. Your third class summer, that's after your freshman year, so the summer before your sophomore year. And during that summer, you're going to spend 6 weeks on Eagle with half your class. It's a great opportunity to get to know your class, as well as travel to some really, really cool places. This last summer, they went to Iceland. The summer before that, they went to Europe and London, and they went to the D-Day, 100th anniversary of D-Day. Our summer, we went down to, where did we go? The Caribbean and island hops, Roatan,
Honduras,
Colombia. Super, super cool port calls. And during that time, while you're underway and just sailing, you're doing a lot of very applicable training. So a lot of damage control training, a lot of learning how to be on a ship and be a part of the Coast Guard training as well. And it's all hands-on. So you're not just learning how to PowerPoints, how to put out a fire. You're putting on the fire chute, shooting the fire hose, that kind of thing. Your second class year, that's going to be before your junior year, and that's when you're assuming the leadership role. You're going to be a cadre for swab summer. You're taking responsibility of those swabs training, and you're going to teach them everything from how to tie a shoe to how to march in formation. We also do a lot of professional development during that summer. So coastal sail, you get on a sailboat with 10 of your classmates and one officer, and you sail around the Northeast. You go to Martha's Vineyard, you go to Cape Cod, and it's just you guys out there sailing. It's a really, really cool leadership experience, as well as just a really cool experience. It's like $1 million sailboat trip, and you get to do it for free as a part of training. And then your senior year, that's when you're treated, during the senior year summer, you're treated as a junior officer out in the fleet. So you go to a ship for all 12 weeks, or you go to, you have the opportunity to go to an internship and get some real on-the-job, applicable experience, and really see what you're getting into the next year when you commission as an officer. This last summer, we both went to a 210-foot cutter, Venturous, and we went down through the Panama Canal and did the drug interdiction mission. We got 85 bales of cocaine. Right?
We got about $80 million worth of cocaine recovered after a go fast pursuit, when the go fast was going 45 knots, and they just started ditching out their cocaine because they didn't want to get caught. So it was a really interesting experience.
super, super cool. We, you know, you're in the middle of the night when this happens, you're lifting the cocaine out of the water, and you're hating your life because it's late at night and the bales weigh like 65 pounds each. And then you stop for a second and you think, wow, when else is, or how many other people in their lives is ever going to hold this much cocaine, like little drugs? And then how many other people are going to hold $1 million in their hand, because that's what each one of those bales is worth. So really, really cool on the job experience. So this is going to be a typical day as a cadet at the Coast Guard Academy. Sorry for the horrible formatting of this slide, but 6 a.m. is when you got to wake up. 6:20 we have formation, where you got to be in uniform. It's kind of an attendance type thing, and we'll pass information. One unique thing about our breakfast and lunch at the academy is that they're all family style. So they bring the food to the tables, and you get to dine with your division, who you work with every day. So you're not just eating with random people. You really get to know the people around you, and talk about work things, talk about school things, talk about life, and really get to know and build a connection with those around you. And then in the morning at 7 a.m., as well as in the evening, 7 to 8, you'll see a military training period. And that's when we do a lot of our military training and professional development, whether it be learning how to evaluate those underneath you, because that's what you're going to do as an officer, or anything to drilling and marching around the parade field with swords and pieces. And then 8 to noon, you have morning classes, just like normal college. You'll go to class when you have class, and if not, you can relax, do homework, work out, that kind of thing. There's another formation at noon, and then afternoon classes after that. Sports period is from 4 to 6:15. Everyone at the academy is required to do a sport or some form of activity to get a sports credit. That can look very different for different people, whether it be you're doing a varsity sport, which is, as Matt said, D3, or you're doing one of our certified clubs, marathon club, or you're doing another activity, whether it be the musical or cyber club, where they're coding, getting ready for competitions, that kind of thing. After that, dinner is buffet dinner. So they just put out the food and you go through and get it and sit with whoever you want. And then after that evening training period, your time is yours. That's your time to do homework. That's your time to work together on your group projects, on your company collaterals, that kind of thing. And then 2200 is taps. You don't have to go to bed, and oftentimes you're not going to bed because you got too much work, but that's when taps goes off. So that's a normal day. Here's our application process and requirements. Us being cadets, we don't know. We're pretty far removed from the actual application process and these dates, but we will for sure get you your admissions officer's email. We'll send that to Captain here. But kind of the big dates to look at are, if you're thinking about applying to the academy and you're a senior, the early action deadline is October 15th. And if you apply early action, you will most likely be notified around Christmas time, so December 24th. If you just want to go regular admission, there's really no difference between early action and regular. It's just when you find out. You're going to find out earlier. The deadline for that is January 28th. And then once you get notified that you have been accepted, you don't have to accept. You don't have to say, yes, I'm going, until May 1st. It's May 1st that you need to decide, yep, I'm going. And then if you do get accepted, you will report in on June 27th of 2022. All right, I know that was really, really quick and kind of broad. If anyone has any questions, let us know. Anybody? Free
Okay,
game
so
for anything.
now the next person we have, I think you're done, right? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we have Commander Pokrovsky from the NJROTC from Centennial High School in Las Vegas. Are you here?
Yeah. Can you hear me, Captain?
Okay, there we are. There you are. Okay. Are you going to present slides or?
Yes.
Okay. Then, and you know how to present in Google Meets?
Yes. If you would, once my slide pops up, if you can tell me if you can see it or not, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. If you would, Captain, just let me know when you can see it.
It's good.
Okay. So My name is Commander Richard Pokropsky. I'm a retired commander from U.S. Coast Guard. I actually went to the U.S. Coast Guard Academy, so I appreciate the presentation from those cadets. Just to give a plug for them, I feel blessed that I got to go to the Coast Guard Academy, and I've had an amazing career. And it was really it was energizing to hear those young guys in college talk about the Coast Guard Academy. So I appreciate that. For me, I went to the Coast Guard Academy. I got my bachelor's in electrical engineering. I was stationed on a couple cutters in Hawaii. My career is primarily focused on C4IT, which is command control, communications, computers, and IT. I left the Coast Guard, retired. I left as an attorney, as a lawyer, did civilian law in Washington, D.C. for a while. And now I'm in Centennial High School out here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm mentoring, helping out some amazing cadets. I am your last speaker for tonight, I believe. And we already went through hours of insight into requirements to become a military officer or a naval officer, personal characteristics necessary to be an officer, deadlines, timelines, medical requirements, expectations, benefits of the military, and commitments, and also what life is as an officer, right? So I'm not going to re-examine those points. I'm just here to dive into one. It's going to be quick, but beneficial, into one aspect of our JROTC's Navy ROTC scholarships. All right, specifically, this scholarship is called the Navy Prep Program Scholarship, but it's a type of college ROTC scholarship specifically for the Navy. So, and as you've seen today, you've had presentations on Navy ROTC scholarships. And again, this is a specific type of ROTC scholarship, but it's you're going to see it's quite powerful. So, NPP, the Navy Prep Program Scholarship? What's the difference between this and the ROTC, regular ROTC scholarship in college? Here's the big difference. In order to get this NPP scholarship to about 19 universities throughout the country, in reality, nobody likes to nail down like specific requirements, but I'm going to give it to you from somebody who helps out kids getting these scholarships, that if you have around a 3.0 GPA and an average ACT or SAT score, for ACT it'd be like a 20. So hear me on this: a 3.0 GPA and an average ACT score, plus you do great in high school JROTC, you can get a full ride scholarship to college. Now think about that. Like usually if you have a 3.0 GPA and an average ACT score, you're not getting a full ride scholarship to college. But here you are. Then that's the big difference here. Full ride college scholarship. And now what's the other difference is they give you one prep year of college. So you're getting 5 years of college, but you don't have to use all 5, but they're going to give it to you. This is something I did personally before I went to, well, I didn't do the NPP scholarship. This is brand new, but I did a prep year. I went to the Naval Academy Prep School, and I got to have all these classes before I actually went to colleges. I'm very thankful that I actually went through that prep year. All right. And so here's the other thing. I put up that 3.0 GPA and a 20 ACT score and doing great in ROTC. Those aren't hardline requirements. It's a more balanced test. They're going to, because it is a prep program, they're going to look at your essays. Your essays really matter. They want to find, from what the instructors in college are telling us, they want to find those diamonds in the rough. Last year, I had a kid who had a 2.7 GPA and a 17 ACT score, a 2.7 and a 17. Full ride scholarship to college. He got a full ride scholarship to college, paying for his room and board, his tuition, and he's getting a platinum flex meal plan. He's getting food. They're paying for everything. That's better than, I'm guessing that's better than like a Division I sports scholarship, right? And the person who got a full ride had a 2.7 and a below average ACT score. But they did great in Navy JROTC, high school Navy JROTC, and they're going to get that prep year to help them out with college. Makes sense? So that's a big difference between this and the regular ROTC scholarship, because after you do your prep year, the Navy is going to give you a 4-year full ride scholarship right after this. So you get to have college paid for, and you roll into that regular ROTC college experience. Just to recap, it has a lower GPA, ACT, and SAT requirement, and you get 1 year of prep college. And you don't have to use it, but if you need it, it's there. All right. Big picture. So just to give you some experience from what I've experienced with it by helping out our cadets. If you look at the University of San Diego, which is one of the schools that we use, tuition is usually about, if you're out of state especially, you're looking at 50 grand a year for tuition. Meal plan's about 4 grand. Housing is about 10,000 a year. So you're looking at over $65,000 a year to go to University of San Diego. And so it's over $250,000 for 4 years, right? Now, I'm actually underestimating that because the university website actually has that at a higher price. But I'm going with, I don't want to oversell the program. And and for the University of San Diego, I have a cadet going there now. Is everything's being paid for him. And he had just average test scores and average GPA, and he's going to school for free for the Navy. Same thing, University of Maine, same sort of deal as far as price. And we have a lot of cadets going to University of Maine, and everything's being paid for. In the first year, they're paying for food as well. I have cadets at both schools, and in general, I'm at a high school Navy NJROTC unit. All of my seniors who want this scholarship and have around average test scores and GPAs, all of them, my seniors that want the scholarship, have gotten it. And we help on the instructors at high school, help them out personally with those applications. Plus, and you've heard from the regular ROTC presenters tonight that in ROTC you get a stipend, you get an allowance while you're in college, which is kind of nice. Okay, so to recap, 1 year of university fund. That 1 year prep is paid for by university. They're paying tuition fees, books, room and board, and some schools like University of Maine pay for food as well. You're not paying a dime out of your own pocket. And then afterwards, you get 4 years of Navy ROTC full ride scholarship. And then after you serve your time in the Navy or in the military in the Navy, you do have the post 9/11 GI Bill, which is an amazing benefit. And I used it. A friend of mine used it. He got out of the Coast Guard and used it and went to medical school using it. And I used it. I stayed in the Coast Guard, but I used it to go to law school. Now, this is an amazing scholarship. You just have, if you do great in ROTC and you have average scores for GPA and your ACT or SAT, there's 19 universities that will give you full ride scholarships. Now, here's another difference. For regular ROTC, well, this MPP program is regular ROTC, but there's only 19 universities that are providing this, and here's a list of them. The ones in black are the ones that are currently taking students. The ones in blue, and I believe the red ones as well, those are ones that we're hoping to get next year. All right. I've highlighted a couple universities, not highlight, I put in bold a couple universities that I personally use most often. That would be University of San Diego, Southern University, University of Idaho, University of Maine, University of Baltimore, University of Maryland at Baltimore, Memphis, Notre Dame, through Holy Cross, University of San Diego, and Tuskegee. I either applied to or got cadets into those specific universities, right? And that's the list. During your prep year of college, these are the types of courses you'll be taking. Plus, they provide tutoring as well. There's a lot of support in this program. Physical fitness is a huge part of a Navy ROTC. And keep in mind, you're going to Navy ROTC in college with it's the regular ROTC program, except that you're getting 1 year prep and then a full ride ROTC scholarship right after that. It's pretty awesome. Okay, you might want to take a snapshot of this. This is a listing of each university who's currently participating. And each one has a cap on how many scholarships they're going to give out. Every year, the cap goes up. And the next column over, you'll see applications received, and then actual NPS, actual scholarships, actual applications they accepted and scholarships given out. If you look at the University of Maine, they accepted 17. Oh, they had a cap of 17 scholarships to give out. They got 21 applications, then they accepted 13 of those applications. And they accepted almost all of mine. And one of my guys had to go to university. He went to University of Tuskegee instead. But yeah, it's an amazing program. This is some data so you can go through it. All right. Right here, the NPP program, this new scholarship, it is new. It just started back in 2018. And if you look here It shows how many programs, how many universities were involved, and how it's gone up through the years. And every year, then the amount of scholarships they give out has gone up. And you might ask at this point, how do I get this amazing scholarship? And it is amazing. You just talk to your high school, Navy, JROTC senior instructor, your commander or captain, and they'll walk you through the process. They have all the information. Okay. So questions. Does anybody have any questions here? Let me stop presenting. Questions might you have? Otherwise, it was great to talk to you guys. And again, this is an amazing scholarship opportunity. Please talk to your high school Navy JROTC instructor on how to apply to these. And each university kind of has its own process. So that's another difference in that you have to, but your ROTC, your JROTC instructor in high school will guide you through the individual processes for each university. All right. If there's no questions, I'll stick around for questions, but otherwise, thank you for this time, Captain. Appreciate it. I might have talked too long and put the captain to sleep.
No. Sorry, I was out talking to somebody. So we hit 9:30, and do I have I have my camera off? Okay, there you can see me. Okay, so I'm Captain Ralph Ortolano, and anybody who is interested in preparing or applying for any of these kinds of scholarships, this is one of the things that we really do in our program. I will tell you that the seniors last year who got scholarships, I worked with them for many hours outside of regular school hours to help them with that application process. That's one of the benefits of belonging to a junior ROTC. And we are the only junior ROTC in the 5th Congressional District in California. If you're interested in applying for things like this, I would recommend that you come see us and join the Navy Junior ROTC so that we can help you to prepare for these applications, not just in the last part of your junior year or the beginning of your senior year, but during your whole time in high school. So that, for example, you saw that the Marines mentioned that they have a physical readiness test. And some of the others, actually the academies and the ROTCs all have a physical readiness test. You may not be able to do things like a pull-up or a push-up as a freshman or a sophomore, but we will help you so that by the time you are a senior, that won't be a problem, because we will work with you so that by that point in time, you will be prepared. Same thing with academics. We want to make sure that by the time you are a senior, you have the GPA that you're going to be a successful candidate. We have an academic support program. We help you to pursue tutoring and things of that nature. So if you have any interest in these types of things, please come see us in the Navy Junior ROTC. And because we're the only one in this congressional district, you can get inter-district and intra-district transfers to come here and take our classes. Thank you very much. I hope you all enjoyed this. I understand that it was really long. We're going to edit this and cut it into smaller segments, and we will start airing these probably again next spring so that people can prepare in advance, because right now your 3 deadlines that are coming up are nomination deadlines for 4 of the 5 federal academies. And the first one is Senator Dianne Feinstein on the 1st of October. That's a week from tomorrow. Second one is Congressman Mike Thompson on the 3rd of October. And the last is Senator Alex Padilla on the 1st of November. So you need to be going to the registrar, you need to be going to your counselors and getting whatever letters of reference they require and your official transcripts as soon as you can. Please don't do that to the registrar and your counselors at the last minute. even a week of preparation is a short time frame for them because they're dealing with a lot of students. But thank you very much. Have a good evening, and we will talk to you when you come see us. And thank you to all of our presenters. We really appreciate all of your time and efforts.
You got it.